This episode of PKA brought to you by Lock and Load, the finest cum pill supplement. Bad words.
Well, which one? Cum?
Settle the fuck down, man. It's cum pills. They're great. They're high quality. You're going to love them. Check them out. Code PKA. You'll hear more about them later. Also brought to you by Death by Gummy Bears, rebranded as the Real DBG.com. Real DBG, sorry, not the real, realdbg.com. That's linked below. You'll hear more about them and their exciting new offerings later. Harley, thank you for joining us tonight. You're looking fit as hell.
Hell yeah. I'm going to be boxing again.
Yeah.
We took another fight. I'm not allowed to say. I tried. Trust me, I tried to get the exclusive, but it gets announced a couple days after. So, but they're very muscular and athletic. They can back. Oh, you want me to tell you? Privately? Okay, I could do that. Yeah. Where do I put that?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
this area right here where Kyle is the N-word 50 times. This must be.
It's going to say Twitter.
That's a copy pasta. It's don't.
Yeah. You say twitter.com/home. Right. It's going to say what's happening.
Yeah,
that's exciting. I'm not going to overreact or anything because I don't want to give any clues. But that's awesome, man.
It is. It is. Listen, I did that last fight, and I realized that like I didn't have to claw my way to any victory. And I watched the other people. Some of them they really had a fight. And I know what it's like because people backstage, they were crying and stuff. Some of them were crying. Some of the guys, won't say who, they just started bursting out in tears, and it was weird. YouTubers are not really meant to be doing combat sports. And at Creator Clash 1, a lot of the YouTubers, they did the combat sport. And this is what I liked about Creator Clash was they didn't fully commit to cosplaying as a boxer, as a lot of YouTubers. You know, sometimes YouTubers, I've done this before. You're like, I'm a YouTuber. Well, then I'm also a rapper.
Yeah,
I'm also an author.
I'm everything.
I want. Yeah, so sometimes YouTubers will cosplay as something instead of recognizing that they are a YouTuber doing a thing. I want to think a lot of the guys at Creator Clash, me too, we're nerdy guys. Maybe, we're not predators that sniff out blood and, so I think they were really shocked at how taxing it really can be mentally to go even just 5 2-minute rounds punched in the face. Mentally and physically. Some of them
were crying. Were there winners crying or just losers crying?
No, winner cried. I saw a loser get very angry, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, man, you went in there and you did it. And that was really valuable. And the winning wasn't even really the point. He was like, shut up. Fuck. He was kind of angry. Yeah, he was cool.
Dude, I get that guy though. That guy just amped himself up to be in a fight and he lost. He needs a little bit of time to be like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, it wasn't a dancing competition, no offense, Woody. But if you'd lost that, you probably wouldn't have cried.
Yeah, you don't go home to people bruised after the
if you'd lost the dancing competition, you don't go home to Jackie and you're like, you still think of me the same, right? But if you get beat up, and she was watching, you might be like, just so you know, I could have taken him 5 years. You're like Tony Soprano all of a sudden. If that rug wasn't there and after my surgery, you're making shit up all of a sudden. Fight, listen, you don't want to lose a fight in front of people.
No, that's what I was getting to. I challenged Dr. Disrespect because I did want to lose a fight in front of people. And I was like, who would be suitable to come and beat me up in front of everyone? Who's gonna fuck? Who am I gonna? If someone came in here and beat me up, they gotta be a specimen.
Yeah, I disagree. I think you're onto something, but I think Dr. Disrespect's the wrong way. First of all, I shouldn't even be talking because I'm literally not throwing my hat into the ring. I don't want anybody beating me up. I don't want that. But
I'm a sideline.
If I was gonna get beaten by somebody, man, if it were just a half of a professional athlete, that'd be such a good excuse to fall back on, right? But if a doc beats you up, it's still
he's just a gamer. It's a gamer in a wig.
Yeah.
What makes you think you couldn't take him? He's never done a boxing match.
Very athletic.
Now we're this far away from me calling him out. There was 2 elements to that call out. One was I realized that if he did beat me, but this was an ex-D1 athlete, so cardio and breath work is something that's difficult for a lot of people. He's already got that. 2, he's taller than me. So like he will have the reach, and that's really valuable in boxing. But then the other parts were like, I don't think he's gonna do it. Like my clout's not up. This isn't 2014 Sauce Boss calling him out. It's like 2023 being like, so like it doesn't really hit the same. And I recognize that. So I'm like, he probably won't even respond. He did. He's like, I won't. So that was that. But I did like the idea of the doc like beating the shit out of me in front of like tens of thousands of people. And I'm like, that's something I could jerk off to later.
Me too.
God, for real.
You're like you're just an entertainer at heart. Absolutely.
I could jerk off.
I have a true
jerking off to that.
I can, if I respect someone enough, I can masturbate to that. I respect Harley.
I'm so comfortable with my sexuality. I'm so comfortable with my sexuality. I could literally jerk off and nut to sucking you off, Woody. And that's not gay at all or in the slightest bit. And I'm just comfortable and I recognize it's like a mere thought. It's just a thought. A thought can't make you gay.
Everyone thinks about that kind of stuff constantly.
Do you know what's interesting about 2023? Real side note before I get back to the boxing thing. What's really interesting about 2023 is like in this day and age, you could be like, yo, guys, I sucked a dick. Didn't like it. I'm not gay. And everyone will be like, he's not gay. He knows he's not gay. He's not a gay man. He knows he's not gay. When I grew up, if I was like, suck the dick, turned out I didn't like that, be like, you sucked the dick. Even if you were like, yo, I actually touched that guy's dick behind me. He bumped into me in the back of my nuts. Everyone's like, gay.
Different now. Prisons aren't full of gay guys. Like,
honestly, not even. I don't even think so. You know why? I'm good here. I know there's some fat fuck PKA fan who's listening right now who's like, he's wrong. And that guy's probably actually gay. But the truth is, I think it really comes down to this. Not anymore. Trust me, I've been looking at all their ankles, all skinny ankles. Everybody look. I'll tell you right now. Woody, why are you making that face, Woody? Because that's what you say. You said if your ankle was thick, that means that you're about to become fat or you're like a fat person. You check the ankles out first. You don't remember saying that?
Yeah.
You remember that now?
Like,
don't make me do this, Woody.
Woody has a bloodhound
when I'm in the middle of my
sense.
Like, when I'm in the middle of coming out on the podcast. You're only gay if you love a man. Yeah. Oh, first of all, that's the hilarious clip. Wait, loving a man makes you gay?
Yeah, because like you love your dad.
No. Lusting guys. This is gonna sound like I do this all the time. I want everyone to know I've never had. Not that it matters, but like you can lust for things, and it like really doesn't mean anything. You can lust for 1,000 gummy bears in a freezer Ziploc bag with mayonnaise warmed up in the microwave for 4 seconds. You could lust for that. You could lust for like a fake little pocket pussy type thing that looks like it's from an alien. The lust is not impactful.
Actually,
what's impactful?
You're using that.
Well, you're right, but hear me out. I could like catch me on the right day. On the right day, the right cocktail of drugs, yeah, you could suck me off, Woody. Hell yeah. And that wouldn't even be gay. What's gay to me is if I lay down in bed with you, each of us on our pillow, face to face, and I was like, on your lips, and I was like,
or you said like, I love you.
Yeah, and I was like, I love you. What are you thinking about?
Dude, this
and
is
I
really
kissed
gay.
you again. That's homosexual. That's when you are in love with a man. Everything else, bro, we're animals, man. We can fuck we're fucking men, bro. We can fuck the hole in one at the golf course, bro. We can fuck whatever we want. Just yeah. There's a whole segment cut from my last year's documentary that I did with Sam where I'm like extensively talking about like how I wasn't really man enough to come here and fight with him in the parking lots right away. I was like, but I am man enough to fuck him. And I bet you he's not man enough to fuck me, which I don't know. Maybe he is. But I was like, that would be the most manliest thing someone can do is like fuck a person and be like, I don't even have feelings, bro.
Yeah.
Bag of fucking gummy bears to me.
The epitome of manhood is Harley forcing Sam Hyde to blow him. Like that's no.
I was 69. They were 69.
Dude, his ass has got to smell awful. Like just from the photos he posts online of himself. He seems like a sweaty man. That'd be hard to be gay, man.
Well, I was actually really caught up with his smell when I first met up with him. I was like, what's he gonna smell like? And I'm back in the day, in the 90s, someone would be like, what are you, gay? And I'd be like, why? Because I want to know what a man smells like. That's not gay. It's gay if you want to love them.
Yeah. It would be gay if like you smelled him and it like made you want to have sex with him.
Yeah, the way Taylor said it did make it sound like more to what your point was, Woody. Say that again.
Oh, it's already gone, man. Like,
okay. If you smell fuck them, I'll accept that as gay too.
Yeah, wanting to lusting after a man, because like if you're gay and you see a nice sexy piece of ass, a nice male ass at the grocery store, you don't have to be like, oh, I want to be his friend and like then develop that into love, and then I'm gonna meet his parents, and then we're gonna go on an Aruba vacation. That gay guy doesn't have to do that to be gay. To be gay, he just has to look over and go, hell yeah, man, nice. The point is, I think we were a little quick to pull the trigger on what was gay and what wasn't. You know how many times I've been out there tugging myself, watching a great video, and it's just like, it's just someone like slamming someone else, and then the angle changes and that other person has a dick, and I'm like, wish I didn't see that, but I ain't gonna stop now. Yeah, no, we're already into the video, and I'm not going back on the hunt. As it's not bigger than mine. Like, I'm like, let's wrap this up real quick. You just scroll up, just like hide the bottom part of the video player. You guys had that. Is this weird? It might be weird now because I'm talking about a specific person. But you had that sexy person on once. Kyle was vibing with him a bit. I was watching that PK, and I don't watch every PK. And I was like, hey, bro, me too. Finster's a handsome gentleman. Yeah.
Finster is a real interesting example of, like, I don't know, the new workforce is what here's a straight cis like man, like regular looking dude, like a bro who plays Minecraft, right? Had been doing it for years, just a Minecraft bro. And somebody was like, bro, you looking kind of cute. Man, how much would it take for you to throw a little dress on? And it was like, shit, man, I made like $8,000 today wearing that dress. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow we pop the dress back on again.
Maybe
dip into the
we're gonna do some pretty streams every day forever now.
Every day forever now. This is the new
That's
me.
what it became. Finn got sissy hypnoed by the fucking the donos.
By the almighty dollar.
Yeah. No, I like Finn a lot.
How Jewish of him.
Yeah.
Very
Jewish.
How Jewish of him to change the core of his very being for a couple bucks.
A couple $100,000 maybe. Like somebody was trying to offer him like, I don't know, $300,000 or something to get the breast implants, but when you think about it, it's just not enough money, I guess. When you're already like doing really well, being half a girl or whatever he is.
Not at all.
Yeah, but being half a girl. He's not half a girl.
Wait, that guy's not gay?
No.
Not even interested anymore.
Yeah.
Come on. We're just friends having fun, you know. Yeah, man, it's so funny. Like, I'll see like random pics of Finster pop up on like just any forum you go to. Like there will be like if you go to like Poll on 4chan or whatever, like he mentioned on the show that I went over to Poll, this is a couple weeks ago now, but there was literally exactly what he said, a picture of him in a thread, like, and the caption's just like, you're gay if you wouldn't, like, or something like that. And it's like true. And then there's like people arguing in the comments like, it's a dude, I swear it's a dude, and they're like, no, it's not. It's not a dude. He can't be, or she can't be a dude. It's too hot. And so
and it's. I remember like
he's fooling.
I remember the first time I found Finster, or not. I guess found like.
Yeah.
I think he donated to me or something.
We were typing slowly with your left hand, if I recall.
I'm fucking. What is it when you can? It would be ambidextrous if you could use either as well as the other. Yeah. It's a sex addict. It's a disgusting piece of shit. That's what the doctor keeps saying. No, like, or maybe like or like rated me or something. That's what it was. He like rated me with like 3,000 or 4,000 people or something. And they were like, yeah, it's Finnster. She's really hot. Check her out. And like, I click and I was like, oh, that is a really hot person. And then they immediately are like, it's dude. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, and I didn't understand. I thought it was a trans person. I was being so careful not to like call this woman a man on Twitch because I know how Twitch is. You
can shut down right away.
It's like shit. There's like 4,000 or 5,000 people watching live. Let's try not to like dead name the person who sent them or whatever the fuck.
That's actually funny though that that's exactly what I was talking about. They're trying to be like, gotcha, you're gay.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't. Why, bro? Why?
We had Finnster on last month.
That was a hot girl.
Exactly. Yeah, we had Finnster on last month. That's what I said. I was like, yeah. Y'all look at him. Dude is hot. Like we all know dude is hot. And those of you who don't think that dude is hot are fucking liars. And you're that guy that I went to school with that would yell faggot at the artistic kid when he walked away down the hall. Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I think every straight guy can admit that Finn is very attractive.
I pulled up this athlete that I inspired by.
Okay.
This athlete, and I think it's relevant because I guess having sex with this person would make you straight.
So is that a woman?
Damn.
Yes.
Does that person have a vagina?
Yes, born and everything. So
what is their how much gear are they on?
It says women's bodybuilding. Hashtag women's.
This is like literally an IFBB female pro. We have gotten to the realm where the female pros, I guess technology has gotten to a place where fucking some of these females can come in and roll on some of these dudes. That's a lady right there.
Yeah.
So you can just do any supplement or not supplements, any gear you want for bodybuilding, right? Unless it's a natural.
Yeah.
Well, if you want us to care about it, you'll do gear.
I like that she misspelled motivation, dumb woman.
Well, you tell her that to her face.
She's gonna be out of breath after the first block. Like there's no way she's got any cardio. She flexes too hard, she goes unconscious. Like, what's her blood pressure at? There's no. That's not
dangerous.
I would like to hear Derek. Has Derek covered that lady? I'm gonna send that picture to him later and see if he's seen that and if he'll cover that.
If she's in a thumbnail, I'm absolutely clicking it.
Because I don't know, I know that what some of the side effects of women doing lots of tea can be, but I don't know what the long-term effects are going to be for. That sounds like everything causes cancer.
I think tea.
Yeah, the clitoral growth, or the deepening voice.
I feel like testosterone's not even the thing.
Body hair.
That's even the big deal. I feel like
it is.
She's probably taking a million things that are going to make her that could make someone drop dead. Before you.
She's taking a lot.
Oh no, for sure she is. But then she's got to be taking a lot of other stuff that are probably just as more dangerous than taking however much testosterone would be too much. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot. You look at Liver King was taking $250,000 a year in steroids.
Well, that's
crazy.
He wasn't that's because some of the stuff he was getting everything pharmaceutically, right? A lot of people use underground labs. That lady probably is. Because what doctor is prescribing her testosterone? You know what I mean? So I would be interested
a cool one.
Rad doc. He's probably Dr. Muscles is in the house. They get the fucking and he just the sirens and stuff.
A terrified dentist. I'll give you whatever you want, please. Yeah,
I can't keep it. It's like when poor Robert Patrick's ordering all that stuff in The Sopranos for his store. I can't keep. At some point, they're gonna know it's fraud.
Yeah. Nobody. A lot of them get away with it.
I would imagine.
Listen to this. On that level of what you can get away with, apparently, there was a doctor in a particular state for a particular amount of money. Not that I know. Listen, I'm fucking weird. I got vaccinated and then boosted 5 times. So I'm not talking about me. I'm fucking government bootlicker over here. But for a couple bucks, you could pay this guy, because you would go to the US, and if you wanted to go back to Canada, you had to prove that you tested for COVID. And if you were COVID positive, you would be held for 2 weeks, and you'd have to pay for your hotel or whatever before you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this guy would just you'd go in, and for $75 or $100 per person, this guy allegedly would just write you up that you tested and you were positive. And apparently he had made like over 800K in the span of 6 months just signing these papers off for someone.
Damn.
And all
That
I
means
thought
that
about
he-
also, I was like, no one's gonna like. No,
That means
not
that
one
he
person's
cost-
jealous.
He cost a Marriott tens of millions.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck
Yeah.
He's-
Marriott.
So fuck
If-
you, Marriott.
What if that's what it was? It was a personal vendetta against
Against
the
Hilton.
Marriott.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, Matt. We roll with
Yeah, I don't have a
Quinta
dog in
on
this fight, but I'll be
baby.
damned if you're going to stay at a Hilton for 2 weeks. Fuck you.
La Quinta only, bro. Out here, we keep it La Quinta.
You've got to have your hand on the wheel when those moments come. Like I remember that guy who sold like millions of those Trayvon Martin pistol targets right after the shooting, and he made a fortune because it was such a politicized thing. You know, there's that photo of Trayvon with the hoodie, all like they darken him up 2 or 3 shades to make him look the way he's supposed to, because you know they got to go back from the lightened up angel version. They almost put a halo on it and
I remember those
they
photos.
it's just him with like a 10-spot ring, you know, like a
Yeah.
dartboard.
The first photos on the news of that story, I remember being like, God, is this kid 8? Like,
Yeah. They shot an 8-year-old Puerto Rican.
Oh my goodness.
Those sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But oh, there you
Jesus
go.
Christ. Yeah, the Target thing. People get rich off of tasteless, boorish nonsense. Like, how many people got to be multi-millionaires by selling pro and anti-Trump stuff at the same time? Tons of people.
The Proud Boys guy does that. Like I saw in that Andrew
I
Callahan
saw that
documentary.
too. Yeah, I
You've
saw
got
that too.
to watch that documentary. Like he
It's a
goes and
great
hangs
doc.
out with the guy who runs the Proud Boys, and he's got
He's fancy, man.
he's got the big T-shirt machine, like the fancy one, and he's like, I'm not gonna say that I make anti-Trump stuff too, but hey, look, you gotta pay the bills. You know what I mean? And whatever sells. And it's like, dude, that's how you do it. When that's what the U.S. government's been doing. Let's look at who's the best at making money. It's our government. They blow things up, and then they rebuild it. Right? Like you gotta get that kind of grind.
With money they take from us, or they'll put us in jail.
With money they take from us, or they'll put us in jail.
Yeah, it's kind of a damn. They are better at it than us. Fuck.
Yes, they're better at it than anyone.
See, the thing that helps them so
Well,
much is that they have
almost
the army.
anyone.
Careful.
Faceless. Woody's been on a. It's okay, Harley's here.
Yeah, I'm a little loud. I was wondering when we'd get there. By the way, I was thinking in my
You need
head.
to throw some. Here, if I were a member of the tribe, I would seriously have like some stuff behind me to indicative of that. Just like look, not like I don't need the
Big
Torah.
star.
Yeah, I should wear like a thing on my arm, eh?
Yeah.
Let me say this.
the
I don't have any tattoos. But one I saw once that I thought looked slick. Have you ever seen Knockaround Guys with Vin Diesel?
Mhm.
He plays
long
a
time
half.
ago.
He plays the half Italian, half Jewish, like tough guy. And
So
he's
he got
got
a
the
pizza
Star
bagel.
of David.
Oh.
He's got the Star of David.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
so fucking
That's what he
perfect.
did.
Pizza bagel. I don't see the Italian part of this. I just see the Jewish star.
Well, there's no like Jewish part of the tattoo.
Oh, I thought you meant it was like a fusion tattoo. No, he's just
I
got a
didn't
star of
mean that.
David, it looks like.
he just has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Star of David. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
He's
feel like
flexing. He's flexing. That's his angle, and he's also standing on an apple box.
Yeah, that man across from him is legitimate large man. If you remember, he's the guy who shoves poor Jim Carrey into that bathroom stall for that mouth fucking. Yeah, that's a good movie though. I don't know why. This is a
What,
little
You guys,
movie called?
actually, if you want,
Knockaround Guys.
This might ruin Vin Diesel scenes for you, but the next time you catch Vin Diesel in movies and like he's standing with other people and they're all the same height, look where his arms end. They'll usually have him cross his arms or do something, but there are times where his arms are there and he's like, they're all the same height, but his arms are like up there because he's
Mhm.
standing on something.
Yeah.
Literally.
Is he short? How tall
Yeah,
is
he's
he?
shorter than most of his co-stars. He has movies with like other giant dudes like The Rock.
I think he's 5'7".
He's like the only celebrity I've ever them up, and their height is not listed in that little side Wikipedia thing. First
Mhm.
time that's ever happened. You
Damn.
sneaky bee, Vin.
I'm gonna
God
get me
bless
one of
him,
those-
love him. When we filmed with Arnold Schwarzenegger, he wouldn't. We needed it for something. They wouldn't inform us of his height and weight, and I was like, oh yeah, like some of these guys like value that.
Come on, you value that. You step on a plane and you measure everybody up. You're like, all right, we're good. It's green, code green.
I wouldn't care about the height thing, but I wouldn't want my weight public. Like,
let's keep it floating at least, so I've got a shot someday.
Actually, I would just make my stats public the way like Tom Cruise and Vin Diesel do. It'd be like, yeah, I'm 6'5", 80 pounds.
I've been doing.
What are you, an aluminum rod?
I've been saying mid-30s lately. People ask my age. I'm like mid-30s. For some reason, 37 hits really hard, and like 35. Like I'm like kind of like COVID took those years from me, so I kind of want to still be like, bro, I'm still 35. All right, maybe I'll be 40
hard. Oh, hang on. You're about to. Do you have anything planned for the big 50th life anniversary? Good. I don't believe in celebrating birthdays. I think it's horse shit. It's a silly thing. Didn't they start doing birthdays because the birth rate was so low that not low, but the survival rate was so low that it was like a huge deal that you'd made it to 2 and then 3. It was like, oh, look at Johnny. He might make it to 7. You're going to read one day, boy. I think that was the deal. But at this point, most of us make it. At this point, all of us are going to keep making it unless we do something stupid. Stop counting.
There's no way.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's what birthday parties are about, Taylor. Come on, I just wrote that bit of history for you. And now
I can't disprove it, but
no, you can't.
No, I can't.
I'm sure if Zach Googles enough, he could find something that supports it, just like I did with all that Holocaust stuff.
Yeah, dude, you can just keep Googling and Googling and Googling, and then sometimes, and if you don't find it, you just make it up. You'll find it.
I had a lot of exposure to Chinese culture over the last couple of years, more than I did before. And what I found was funny were some of the differences. Like when you turn 13 as a Jew, they're like, you get your bar mitzvah and they're like, well, you're a man now. Get to work. I noticed in Chinese culture, 100 days is the celebration. They're like, yep, you did it. Get your ass out there now. Make us
100
proud.
days old.
100 days. Get your ass out there.
It's like American presidents. You got to
contribute. You did it.
Make something happen right there.
I'm financially independent, and I'm still fucking eating cereal at 4 a.m. playing Modern Warfare 2, and I'm like, this can't be being a man, really. This can't be it.
You say that like that's any different than some people that would consider the manliest men, like Lois and Clark on that fucking adventure out west, mapping the fucking continent. You don't think one night they stayed up late and played chess while they had some brandy? It's the same fucking thing. You're just as manly if you stay up late, play some goddamn.
Much manlier than Modern Warfare 2 and cereal.
Brandy and chess with your homeboy Clark. Well, those savages died poorly today, didn't they, old boy? Oh, yes, they screamed like babes. Oh, many of them were babes.
Good year. You know how you know brandy is
around for another jolly.
Another funny thing about the
shit.
Oh, you said brandy's classy because it tastes like shit?
Yeah, brandy's just. Have you ever had brandy? I've only had it once, so I'm judging an entire class of beverages.
No, so am I.
Horrid. I like so whatever Grand Marnier is, I've always enjoyed that for sipping. I remember I used to think it was classy when I was 19. I had that 25-year-old roommate who was a bar back. And he was Polish, and he would sip that shit and like make a whole show of it, swirling it in the glass and
yes, me too.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what he did. It seemed like he just drank a lot. I think that's what a bar back does because he was a full-time alcoholic.
That is common in that industry, but yeah, Woody, a barback is
like a running back, except for he drinks.
Yeah, he tackles unruly customers. He just picks up empty glasses, so the bartender just takes all the orders, and the bar back will be like, "Oh, your cup's empty. You're done with your fucking potato skins."
He's the assistant bartender. No, assistant to the bartender.
Another thing that I noticed about Chinese culture that was pretty interesting was I started seeing this Chinese doctor. Here and there, extra from different from my real doctor.
Long Wang.
I wouldn't be gay.
It was interesting. I would get an appointment, and when I first met him, barely spoke English. He made me stick my tongue out. And I stuck it out, and he was like, ugh. And then like literally he did that. He would like point at thing, touch me. He would like touch me like on my he would touch me like on my foot, and I'd be like, ow. No, I think it's because I have a topographical tongue. You guys,
it's like bumpy and stuff.
It's like it looks like I don't want to stick it out because that doctor's made me self-conscious. Also, so did Sam. I stuck it out for Sam. I told him this story. He's like, let me see your tongue. I stuck it out, and he was like, that's disgusting, that tongue. No, not at all. It's perfect. The color's fine. It's just like it's one of those tongues that are not smooth. Like it has like cracks on it.
Oh, so your tongue's like the beginning of a commercial.
Oh God.
It's looking kind of gray, guys. It's not that gray normally. That's
I've been eating sand.
It looks like a fairly standard human tongue.
Wait,
maybe those little extra papillae on your
tongue results from the loss of tiny hair-like projections. That's it. Yeah, that's my tongue.
Nah, take that away, please. I'm begging you. I appreciate
licked a cold pole.
Kyle's making me feel bad now. Kyle's making me feel bad.
No, your tongue was fine. My tongue looks similar to your tongue sometimes. I got coffee tongue right now. It looks like I've been eating doo-doo, but like I want to hear about Woody's PC debacle because I know you don't know this, Harley, but so I've been gaming Tarkov wiped. I know you don't play that stupid game. I see you playing Kyle a lot. Hope you're having fun with that. But Woody has been wanting to join us on the Tarkov wipe, and it's a real time-sensitive thing, as you can imagine. The game's reset. His fucking PC has been melted down for 3 weeks now, like one thing after another. And he just got it back from the PC repair shop today. I was shocked when you sent me that photo. You had the PC in the back seat, and you didn't buckle her up. Yes!
I would have buckled it up. I buckle things up all the time. I'm wild for that. First time I break, I would like.
It's
I would
the law.
The law.
Why was that not smart to upgrade your GPU and upgrade the power supply too? Yeah. What's the damage? I'm sure it was so hard. I think that's good to get your computer back to life.
Yeah,
your computer's working.
Yeah, you're on now. The
So
photo you sent.
Your computer's still not plugged in, but you're not playing Tarkov. Kyle, fuck this old retard, bro. Take me. I'm ready, bro. I've been training in Modern Warfare DMZ, bro.
I've been playing with foot pedals this whole time.
The picture you sent us of you like smiling in the car looked like you were so happy. Like just like Woody sent us a photo of him like driving and the picture of him driving with the computer in the back. And like it's one of those smiles where like his eyes are like lit up as well. You can tell it's not fake. And you literally looked like someone who won like a radio contest. And you got a computer. But no, it's you just like at like, all right, day 28. Maybe I can play that game that's already, way too far back.
You said your dad, to be fair, you called him to wish him happy birthday. Does he say I love you? Do you say I love you to him? And does he love you back? Okay, no, I have that in my family too, not with my dad, but my grandfather.
What did he say? Anything? Did he say like, I appreciate that, son? Good luck in your endeavors. This
this happened with my grandfather.
Keep it real, son.
I say to my grandpa, I'll be like, I'll call him, I'll be like, yeah, he's like, okay, and I'm like, okay, love you, and he's like, yeah, bye. And I'm like, I think it's hard for him, and I think he cringes when I say to him,
what are y'all afraid of?
Dude,
I think it's a generation. I think it's a generation thing.
My dad is about to be 70 years old, and I say, Dad, I love you so much. You are my favorite person.
And he's like, well, hot dog, son, I love you too. Come
That's exactly what he says.
Well, hot dog, son.
I tell him.
Yeah. So Kyle, you say I love you. Oh, there he goes. He had to call his dad. See, he's got to be like, Dad. Oh, you won't believe him. They don't. I
don't believe here.
Yeah. So Kyle, when you say I love you to your dad, he says I love you. That's how it is with my dad as well.
Every time I part company or hang up the phone with a loved one, I tell them I love them, and they tell me they love me. Because you never know when it's the last time.
What about grandfather though? Like, is he dead?
My grandparents have been dead for a long time.
I'm sorry. Your grandparents are dead.
How about Grandpa Irving? Is he still not?
That's just so fucking mean. It's great.
No, seriously, rest in peace to them.
Yeah, no, seriously, no disrespect. No disrespect.
Yeah. No, but would they say I love you back to you? Because it's my dad says it, my grandfather doesn't.
Yeah, when my grandmother was dying, that was the last thing she said to me. She was all jaundiced up and she had turned like almost orange because her liver had shut down from the cancer. And the surgeries and stuff because she had fought for so long. But that was the last thing she told me.
My joke is terrible now. Okay.
She looked like a bird. She was like 80 pounds by then, but her little mouth was all stretched out and parched. And she said, "I love you, Kyle. I love you. You're my number one grandson." Was her only grandson. So
my grandmother held it down. She said it. She always said it until she died also. But it's the grandfather that was the one that was like, "Shut up, fuck."
It was funny you mentioned grandpa because there's been plenty of stories about my country farmer grandpa on this show, and like my grandma is like I love you, like me and my dad. Obviously, every time I hang up the phone with my brothers or like my brothers leave my house or anything, love you, like always. With my grandpa, like it's so ingrained in me to like say I love you at the end of like a phone call with family, but he's the only one that like isn't 100% come because like I'll be like, all right, see you later, grandpa, I love you, and he'll be like, just
I
kind
feel
of like
bad. Don't you
or
feel
like
bad
see you
for a
later.
bit?
No, it's him. He's from that generation of like, and like he didn't have like fucking running water as a kid. He didn't have a lot of stuff. And so like for him,
he was in the wars.
We were down.
Those men couldn't. I don't think those men had that luxury. I don't think they had the luxury of being like soft enough to tell their sons they love him. Now, like maybe our dads, like maybe they don't have quite as much excuse, but unfortunately they were raised by those guys who didn't have a choice. And it's only us that are like, yeah, you can suck a dick and tell your kids you love them too.
Yeah. Like he'll tell stories about like what his dad was like to him because like he was just like a kid working on a farm, and he was like, this is just last time I was there like a couple weekends ago, he was talking about stories and he's like, yeah, I was 11 years old or so, we're putting fence posts in on daddy's property, and I was railing one in and missed, took all the skin plumb off the top of my hand, and my father, he was 50 yards that way. I said, son of a bitch, hold my hand. And he looked up. He was a Christian man. He said, what the hell did you just say? And he walked over there and he said, I'll give you something to say son of a bitch about. And he plumb near took my head off. He beat the shit out of me. And I was like, Christ, Grandpa. And he's like, and my grandma was like, yep, that is true. His father was very rough on him. He objected to son of a bitch.
Child.
Yeah, like he would, like my grandpa got smacked around. Like he didn't say bad word. Like that's the level of like his household. It was like, tear up your hand, but you say son of a bitch. Like that's not flying in this Christian household. He's like, he came over there and he said, what the hell you doing saying son of a bitch? Except he didn't say hell and he didn't say bitch. And because like he was one of those guys who's like, I'll kill you and your whole family, you son of a gun. Like, you rascal.
Oh God, he means it. He said son of a gun.
No, for a long time, my grandma didn't either. They lived in like very rural southern Missouri. It's like, and she still fucking gets scared when I raise my hand. Like, my parents were killed before I was born. They had a spigot, and so they'd have to walk down to the farm area where near like the chicken coop, and then pump water into a bucket, and then take it over. I think I got to say I win the pour off though, because it sounds like both of these, all these groups of people came from nuclear families where there's a dad and a mom, right? Like even if he's a piece of shit, okay, all right, that's different. That's true. Okay.
Yeah, but the hard part.
Mike told me about how they would use shucked corn cobs to wipe their ass.
Well, that's common practice
because it was a common thing back. Yeah, with a shucked corn cob.
He's like, I wasn't penetrating, I was wiping. I swear, we all
just shoving up your ass.
You guys said son of a gun earlier.
Clean.
Son of a gun's kind of like rougher of an insult than son of a bitch. The origin. Because it was like if you were on a Navy, British Navy warship back in the day, sometimes they let women on the ship. And any child born on the ship and they didn't know who the father was, they just called the kid a son of a gun. So it's like pretty like it's just like it's kind of like a bastard.
I like that.
Long
I like
form.
that.
Yeah. So it is kind of like not that good. It's still kind of an insult.
Do you have the originations of any other of those old sayings? Because I always heard the one from Boondock Saints about the rule of thumb. You know that?
Yeah, I heard that from Boondock Saints also.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
made up. Yeah,
I choose to believe what I was told by
that's
sassy
not true, that
lesbian meat worker.
No, apparently it's not.
Oh,
Well,
it was actually never.
type.
Believe it or not, it was actually never legal
Giving the
to
boys a hard
savagely
time.
beat your wife in the United States. Like you can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
Harley,
another
we don't have a lot of
PKA
those.
moment.
As a black guest, like, oh, which one?
No.
He's like, oh, Wolf. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid that you said something racially insensitive to Adrian Peterson. Glad you didn't do that.
Was that another one?
We had two and he got a vote.
When he's batting 1,000. Does that happen to you, Kyle? Every time there's a podcast, I'm like, when's it gonna happen tonight? When is it gonna happen tonight?
Funny about Woody, you doing that was like I'll get random DMs from people sometimes, and they'll be like, "Yo, Woody said something racist on PKA today."
Not Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, not the Adrian Peterson, the Arian Foster.
Yeah, of course.
N-word. Oh,
no, people will hit me up sometimes. They'll be like, "Woody said something racist on PKA today."
It's never on purpose.
No, DM from a person with no profile picture or anything. Oh, so you're gonna say the racist thing again? Go ahead.
Actually, you're very, very close, and I know you mean to be. However, yeah. However,
difference.
It's only after further review, I think, that we found out that even the black man in his video had never used the N-word. Woody had added the N-word in his memory, and so while he thought he was quoting an N-word, but the black man didn't even say it. My window's open and it's playing. I gotta read. I mean, it's wide open and it's right there. And I'm gonna let you a little secret. Rashad next door is a black man.
Yeah. That word, believe it or not. Dude, I remember after
Rashad's car got yoinked yesterday, and I watched it happen. They pulled the fucking rollback up. And I could hear like the hydraulic like lift and the winch going and everything, and it makes a uncomfortable noise when you winch a car that doesn't want to be winched. When you're and I'm like looking out the window, and like even the guys I was streaming to, I was like, can y'all hear that? That's my neighbor's car getting fucking repoed right now.
So he's in a bad mood. He wouldn't like any of that.
Dude, I saw him outside one time, and he was like. He was like, "Hey, do you play any video games? I play Battlefield." And I was like, "Video games? No."
Battlefield.
Video games.
I want him on my squad.
I'm trying to get to know Rashad on personal level. I gotta keep my
Be like, we can play with my friend Harley. He plays Battlefield.
You can play with my friend Woody.
You're gonna hate him. You're gonna hate him,
dude. I can still remember.
Woody's gonna give you a call sign right away, and you're not gonna like it.
Stop calling me that.
All right.
No, it's a soft A.
No. Woody's like, all right, guys, I'm back into Tarkov. I thought.
All right, I'm back in.
Let's do the boys. I'll be. How about you be Black Noir, Rashad? Let's just kick off with that. And no, let's I gotta keep I keep seeing my goddamn neighbor's name. It's the fucking windows open.
Your what's name? Your what's?
I've got two like gaming PCs going, so it puts out a tremendous amount of heat in this room. Like it's a tremendous amount of heat. I think I've got 1,000 watts and one at 800 the other, and they're both grinding right now, doing their shit. And so I was gonna do that this year, but obviously the market was so funky, and it seems like it's gonna like fall off the cliff. And so honestly, like what I've been doing is waiting on the market to fall off that cliff. So, God, I don't want to throw.
Go to Texas.
No, because I don't want to throw like
what's that weed?
$500,000 at something, and then next year that $500,000 house could have been a $750,000 house. It's like, man, because the difference is huge. Like, I don't. There's first world problems here, but the difference between a $250,000 house and like a $400,000 house really isn't a ton. But when you go from 400 to like 600 or 700, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Y'all added like another fucking house and made everything nicer.
Yeah.
It's a big step up.
But Texas is really crazy, and I don't imagine that the prices would drop there, because it's like, I can't believe how big these houses are for the amount that the people are paying. Crazy. You could get guns again. Oh, Texas is like, I've seen like $700,000 houses that would cost $5 million in Canada easily.
Exactly. So what you're starting with the piece of land that you're sitting on, right? Like, so I grew up in that you've been there, little Franklin County, Georgia. And so property there, like where my dad is, like when I was growing up, that land was $5,000 an acre. It's still only like $10,000 an acre or something like that. But if you buy property right there on the lake, it's $250,000, and they don't even cut it into acres anymore. They cut it into like quarters and halves of acres. It's the same thing. You go out to Texas and they're like, yeah, we got plenty of land. Like what do you it's probably $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 an acre. It's not like building a house right in the suburbs somewhere where like the piece of property that I'm sitting on right now, God knows. Yeah. There, at that point, it becomes, what kind of utilities can we expect out here? What kind of internet capabilities?
Where's the Costco?
The cost?
I see a place and I'm like, you could have nothing. You got a Costco and a Walmart here. I'm like, let's go, bro. This is a viable location to begin a life.
Do you ever?
There's someone ready to go pick you up a GoPro and bring it to you where you live right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you ever process that? Like, man, if I hurt myself here, I'm on my own, and it's going to be like a helicopter, or I'm going to have to tough it out for miles. Because I remember we were in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico on your BLM land. We had driven off of a lonely road for an hour and a half. But what you got to keep in mind is it's not that fast hour and a half down a road. It's like off-road, driving through canyons and like over washed out riverbeds and stuff. We are in the wilderness, 4x4 only shit. And we were shooting that minigun off the top of that hill, and the round exploded on the inside of my thigh, like where your femoral artery is. And I didn't know I thought I might be shot. It burned and it hurt bad. And I had seen the flash and the explosion, but we finished shooting and said the thing. And then I immediately jerked my pants down. There's like two women there and like all my friends. And I like jerked my pants down, fucking butt naked. And there's a cigar burn on the inside of my thigh where that round had exploded and just burnt the shit out of me. But it's a minigun I'm shooting, so it has that big belt that's being fed by an electric motor that's powered by a 12-volt car battery. It's spooling up, so it's forcing those through that belt at an incredibly fast rate, 4,500 per minute. And one of them exploded in the belt against my thigh. So I don't know what part of it hit me or what part of it burned me at all. It was almost dark when we shot it, for effect. So I just saw an explosion happen next to my thigh and had the big nasty burn on my inner thigh. Yeah. Or like burst like don't think like, oh, the bullet took off like it came out of a gun. It's more like it sort of blew up like a little mini 308 caliber hand grenade, I guess, or something like that. But in that moment, I was real scared because there was no getting to help if you were bleeding. It was going to be hours. It was going to be like a solid 2.5 hours to get to like the guy who has like the thing that clamps your fucking artery off. That guy with the clampy forceps thing. Like he's 2.5 hours away and he's asleep or probably maybe.
I mean, the U.S. is huge.
You talked about how scary it is to be 80 miles, no people near you, and that thought going through your mind. What's scary though is to have that thought and then hear someone off in the woods. And maybe hear someone if you heard someone go, la, 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 Ricola, you would reply back with a Ricola. Funny shit. And that's a jovial man who's in his 30s to 50s.
Because he remembers those cough drop commercials.
He remembers the cough drop commercials, and he's taking advantage of the mountain canyons acoustics. But if you heard, you'd be like, "What? I don't think I'm gonna pack up. Let's just rev on the fuck home."
What if you just heard like echoing of like like little giggles,
sexy?
like those Asian scare? No, not sexy, spooky.
So I said, "Hey, everybody, look, I heard somebody. Get your guns."
One of them city slicker things. A nice REI. I wonder if there's a wealthy fella right there.
No, from inside the tent, you yell, "Hey, everybody, get your knives. I hear some people."
Everyone, formation!
Yeah. I've spent a lot of time in the woods. Like for 3 or 4 years in a row, I spent every morning and every evening of the fall, right? Like every day of deer season, I would go morning and evening, like 3 hours each. And you'll hear so many things that are weird. And it's like you said, it's like, what broke stick?
Yeah.
I'm armed. I'm ready to go. Like, come on, stick breaker. Step out. Break my stick. Come on, we've been here. I'll break some back. It's like what the fuck is break? But I think that it's usually just like weight of a limb, actually like a limb collapsing on itself, like some really rotten stuff is all I can figure. And obviously acorns and shit falling. But I've never heard anything in the woods that I couldn't eventually kind of wrap my head around what that must be. There's some weird birds down here that make squawking noise. It's like it can sound like a screech. It can be weird. And I guess there's bobcats. I saw that one on our little trip, and I know that those make a scary screech, but I've never heard one. I've only seen one once. Okay. Yeah, bobcats are about 35 pounds, and they have like that bobbed tail, you know, that like little,
and they scream.
Like so this is one of those where like mountain lion, whether you say mountain lion, cougar, puma, or like 2 or 3 other things, you're essentially talking about the same thing, but it's that big fucking predatory cat that kills people. The one that looks like a miniature lioness. The ones that they have in like Southern California. Yeah, the big boy over there. They have those in Southern California and in the Southwest, and plenty it down like south of the border, and those will fucking kill you.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
what's that noise
it's got traps.
It's my fucking dog. She won't shut the fuck up. She's just yap.
She doesn't like that you're talking about all these cats.
Wait, Zach, I didn't see all the cat stats.
There were cat stats?
Yeah, there were cat stats. Put the cat stats back up.
Rats.
I'm watching videos of mountain lions scream now. This would be upsetting.
Do your best mountain lion scream.
Fuck. Hold on.
I said scream. What are you pregnant?
I'm trying to. You're an animal impressionist.
Hang on. Yeah, I got it. Okay. All right.
Let me try and do him if he was Asian.
Wow.
Mountain lion will absolutely fuck you up. A cat that weighs 160 pounds can kill any person.
160-pound cat.
Yeah, it's all muscle. It'll catch you by surprise.
I'm gonna go kill.
He's gonna go shut that dog up. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that it's taking Brock Lesnar. Or it's going to take Brock Lesnar because like
I
the
thought
way
about
that
when Mike Tyson
come at
was owning a tiger. When he was owning a tiger, I was like, I guess the tiger might know better that he could probably knock it out.
No, if you tried to fight, what's his name, Tyson Fury, if he like threw a big barehanded punch at like a tiger's jaw, like. Number one, he might break his hand because that's not going to give because it's
for sure. That's
animal.
A thick ass bone,
and like
right?
It would be so insignificant to the tiger that it would take a second for the tiger to register that an attempted attack was made, and then it would kill Tyson Fury.
You don't think like there's an angle or a place you hit it and it's going to shake the brain up a little bit? No chance the brain gets shook
no
up
chance that a tiger is getting knocked out by.
We are talking about like an animal that could be like up to like 600 or 700 pounds, right?
Well, tigers are the best one to pick because like. If a full-grown lion like walks by a tiger, it's like I don't want any of that. Like, oh my god, that's way more intense than I am. Thank God
lions
you're in Asia
are like
and I'm in Africa. No thank you.
Lions are like 250 pounds or 300 pounds, and like tigers are like more than double that. But tigers are always malnourished, though. tigers always have their hanging bodies because they're never like, they don't get enough calories for what they really need to be at their ultimate existence. Tigers, they're kind of like always hungry. I think lions exist like that too. But if you had a fed tiger, I
want it stuffed to the gills. Like, couldn't. I want it to, if it kills me, to kind of like pick at my chest and be like, "Oh, you don't need this." Like, it's like, this guy's fucking salty. There's a lot of sodium in this guy. Unbelievable blood pressure. But no boxer could knock out a tiger.
Oh my God, were we doing that?
Harley asked, and I had to defend.
Well,
the
lion's mane.
tigers.
Apparently, the lion's mane helps the lion in attack defense scenarios. Not against the tiger though, just in general. Apparently, the lion's mane does that, and so tests were done if that could mean anything for humans with beards, if it does anything, and they made like this like epoxy jaw like recreation, because apparently that's like obviously where you hit someone, you hit them in the jaw, and like that's where our beards could be, and they set it up in this scenario where like the moment that a jaw fails, like where it breaks, and then where it's like 100% of the time the jaw will break, and they put like a beard there, and a beard made of like various hairs from like sheep, and it was like the jaw broke 45% of the time if there was a beard there.
Really?
I'm sorry. Well, they went so far, as to create a gelatin head with a bone jaw, and then they went so far as to measure the exact amount of newtons required to just barely break it. And then they said, all right, we got to get the beard. Should we go to a barber and get some human hair to put in here? No. Get some sheep's wool.
In fact, the person that when I was reading it, and they said obviously they can't use real human hair. While I was reading it, I was like, why? But okay, anyways.
Yeah, why not? Obviously.
Yeah, that's what they said. That even like
that shit up.
But I agree with you. I was like, well, why? You can use my hair if you wanted.
Yeah, it's like,
look at my sink. You'll be good.
Just ask.
Comb has to pass through the beard. Those are the rules of the game.
Really?
Everyone knows that. What? Yeah.
That is a. Yes.
Wait, what was it?
Everyone in my house knows the rules.
All the dogs. Yeah.
Everyone here knows the rules of Slappy McBeardoff. The comb must cleanly pass through with an even stroke, one even stroke. Any thicker than that, then you clearly applied some sort of schmutz to that Slappy McBeardoff. That's what happened to my uncle. He's not allowed anymore. Banished.
You got anything to say about that, Harley? About his dead uncle?
Please, the man knows about.
No, that's too close. And also my deepest sympathies and condolences for that horrible experience with your grandmother. I could only imagine what it was actually like. I was doing a silly joke before. I didn't realize there was actual suffering involved.
Nah, none of that happened. She's still alive.
Okay. I'm a Jew. I was lying. I didn't care about anything except money.
Oh, that was actually all true though.
Okay, I take it back. I'm not like the other ones. So
see how they are, shifty as ever. No, that did happen. That was sad. My uncle too, cancer. I don't know, man. Look, champion. Hey, you're going for 3. I can feel it, dude. UGA. Here's what we can look forward to in this fucking year. All right, a 3-peat from UGA. And more cancer on Woody. I guarantee every night I pray. And it'll be so fucking funny.
It's just you're just doubling up Kyle's number of survival stories. Like this is like
take the cancer from my riddled body and throw it upon that man.
Wishing cancer on
No. I want my cancer to leave. That's all.
But don't just leave. Go on to him.
I'm just saying if it's got to go somewhere.
For a show.
I'm just saying if it's got to go somewhere, go to somewhere where to someone who's so resilient, clearly. Like
go somewhere where we can get 3 minutes out of it.
Oh my God.
It's in the family.
Awesome.
You guys just dominate cancer.
Hello.
That is good news.
Little dog here.
I mean,
that's good. Do you want to say what kind or what was going on?
Good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so glad that so far my cancer has been like the bitch made cancer, because like my mom had the scary kind. She had like some big old like egg sized tumor or something, and like they and you know, my uncle, he had brain cancer, and then my grandmother, I think it was started in her liver, but then it got like everywhere. So you know, you never know what kind's coming for you next, but it's coming.
I mean, we'll all get cancer eventually, God willing. Cancer, carbs, guns.
You want a list or like? I think it's heart failure a lot of times, and I think what it really is, and people don't like to talk about it. It's you ever like drink some water, it goes down the wrong tube, and you're like, "Oh, that was rough there for a minute." I bet that kills like 1 million old people every year, and nobody talks about it. It's like, yeah, it went down the wrong tube. No, she had a stroke, because it's so embarrassing to say, well, she was having some diet right, and it went down the wrong tube, and that was it for Granny. Yep, she made it through the Depression, World War II. She was a nurse in Nam. Did you know that, Timmy? But it went down the wrong tube.
Yeah, you just get so fragile when you get, because like if like Kyle, like if you or I or any of us, like if we slipped while we were shoveling our driveways, like if we didn't break something, it would be like, oh, your thought would be, this is embarrassing. Oh, I just slid down my driveway. People are watching. If you were like a 78-year-old, like overweight guy, that could kill you. Like just not even a heart attack, just slipping. And
when's the last time you fell hard? Like when you didn't get right up?
We'll get back to you. Woody's answers to this. What happened on Saturday, Woody? Sorry, I thought you said for me to get back. Last time I fell hard was literally shoveling my driveway about 3 years ago, and I hit my ass so hard on the concrete, it was brutal. I felt like an idiot.
Those are. Did your feet like describe how your feet like slipped out? Like what did they both go the same direction?
Well, my driveway is a little bit like slanted down, like at a decent angle, and so I had like I was facing this way, so I had 1 foot higher than the other on a slant, and I was trying to get it, and then my lower foot gave out, and trying to recover, I did almost like a little splits, and then like fell down. Yeah,
what
really
part of your ass hit? What part of you hit the ground?
The whole part. Every bit of my ass hit the ground.
I tried to like,
but I kept my neck was rigid because I'm a young virile man. But if I was an older guy, I wouldn't have had that neck and like torso rigidity, and I could have smacked my head.
Forevermore.
Forevermore. Yeah. Now well, I was at a bachelor party for a wedding that didn't even end up panning out, and I used to, when I was young, I used to roll out of beds all the time when I was sleeping. Like I still do. I move around a lot in my sleep, and I hadn't done that in many years because I didn't sleep in bunk beds because I was fucking 28 at the time. And I got to the house we were staying at on the Lake of the Ozarks, and I got there a little late, and so there was nothing available except for the top bunk. So I took that, and on the second night I rolled so hard into the barrier, and these were not 5-year-old bunk beds. This is probably 7.5 feet tall. Like I'm very high, and the safety bar was wooden, and it wasn't screwed in. I realized it was just nailed in. And so I rolled into it and knocked it out, and then fell 7.5 feet. People woke up. It was the middle of the night, and they were like, I thought someone was like shooting a gun, because the board, I landed on top of it so hard into the ground, and the board that fell flat dented into the muscle in my upper right ass. And I still have a permanent indentation in my, not on the ass cheek. It's almost like lower back, upper ass kind of there. Like no part of it is being sat on ever, no matter what position I'm sitting in. But like, yeah, it's just my beautiful, like now if I like get a great pump in my ass from doing, hip thrusts or whatever, I have to look at my left side because that's my good cheek. I can't look at my right side because that's my bad cheek. And it fills me with a lot of, dread seeing it, because it's like, God, this is ugly and I hate it. And people are going to see my ass.
There's no Patreon goal where you share it with the audience?
I thought you were going to say there's a goal where we like refill my ass.
There could
in
be
multiple ways.
Another one.
There's a
you can raise money for the operation
to
fill your ass and then never do it.
Yeah. Genuinely, I was just stupid. Like, I should have gone to the hospital. I should have went to a doctor because he could have like restitched it together. Like, but there's just a dent in the muscle. Like there's a separation of the muscle. Like I can stick my finger back there, like, and feel it hurts, so I don't do it. But yeah, ass is ruined forever. You don't realize like how much as a guy you're like, damn, I kind of want to have a nice ass. And then
I realized that like in the last year or so.
Yeah,
I used to never feel that way. I like skipped out on leg days and stuff, and like working out my ass. I was just like, what's the point? Like, and then like now I'm like, oh, my posterior chain was weak. But having said that, it's just an ugly flat ass. So now when I go to the gym like late, no one's there. That's when I start doing the glute bridge humps and the kickbacks and the hip adductor and abductor. Like I'm doing all that when no one's there. I'm like, now it's time for that real ass fucking workout. And I'm like, like humping in the corner of the gym, which I would never do when people are there because I'm like just so big.
Yeah,
it's weird. And then I'm like looking around to make sure no one's looking at me, and I end up making eye contact with every single person while I'm humping. Nightmare fuel for me. Dog, that's a great exercise. Dog pee.
Those inner thighs must be on fire.
That seems smart. That seems to be the thing that gets everybody later in life. What's it called? The Big Five, Big Three.
Tell me about your fall, Woody, because at your age, you never know when the
Grim Reaper is coming.
You never know when it's going to be the fall.
How long were you laying there? Were you laying there out of exhaustion, or were you thinking like, oh no, like I could be hurt? Was part of you like, oh, where's the pain gonna go? Like, glad you're good. I mean, I don't even worry about you falling now. I feel like you're building an immunity.
That's how it works.
Be able to take.
Speaking of people who used to fall for a living, Robbie Knevil died the other day. Son of Evil Knievel. I remember watching him jump the Snake River Canyon when I was a young man and thinking, this just isn't cool anymore. His dad was supposed to be a badass. Actually, I think what happened was it got windy and he called it off. And this is in the time when this is long before live streams, the internet, any of that horse shit. This was on Fox. Fox was like, tonight at 7 p.m., Robbie Knevil jumps the Snake River Canyon. After that, the X-Files and whatever the fuck. And I'll put you down. Hang on, chill. Fucking gremlin. And I think it got windy and he fucking called it off. And even then, like as a young man, I knew enough about his father that I think I was like, I don't think his dad would have called it off. I think they'd have been like, Mr. Evil, sir. Mr. Evil. The wind engineer is telling me it's no good, sir. No good. And I think he'd have done it. He'd be like, "Fuck it! Like I'll just go faster." Like the people here, the cameras are rolling. Like I think he just gone.
That's awful. He's a daredevil, and he died of pancreatic cancer. Like the worst kind of cancer. 60.
Can I just say that the fact that he didn't go out doing increasingly more dangerous stunts is, well, it's just selfish.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a terminal disease. Y'all hear about it.
Y'all hear
in a good way. Like happy things.
Not how I think it.
Yeah. I knew what you meant, but I know what they thought was like you sending like a almost smiling, jokey video of you like, here I go, like off the bridge or something.
Yeah. Or something.
No, when he was just like, if I had something terminal, y'all are gonna hear about it. I was like, it's gonna be on the news. He's gonna get the dragon's breath shotgun again. He's gonna get the fucking minigun out. It's gonna be
make
wild.
a wish. Give this 37-year-old man his YouTube channel back. That's all he wants. For his
that's how
year.
you took it that way. That what he was saying. I thought he was going to a scarier place. No, I
took it. No. I took it. You went on a spree.
Yeah,
like but old school GTA frenzy style.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the joke. That's kind of what I was jokingly implying.
No, I said murder.
But that's what you said. Robbie Knevil, however, like his whole bag was stunts and jumping shit and like getting paid for it. Like he had the contacts, the connection, and the apparati to like get a fucking rocket ship and go to space. Like that's how I'd have went out. I'd have said, shoot me into the fucking moon. I want you to crash me into the moon. Elon Musk would have been on board. I want like paint the ship with the Evil Knievel colors, right? The fucking red, white, and blue, baby. And Robbie Knievel's gonna jump space. He jumps from Earth to the fucking moon, and his whole thing. I want to crash right into the moon. That's how I want to go out, and that's how I would love to go out. If you told me, Kyle, you have terminal butthole cancer, and it's just going to eat you right up, and I would say, but we will shoot you at the moon if you want. I would say yes, shoot me at the moon.
Yes, for research or something for NASA. We need to know.
Like there's moon Nazis who are sensitive, who are vulnerable. Moon space Nazis who are vulnerable to my specific butthole cancer. And if they fire me at such a speed as to vaporize that butthole cancer. It's like, you know how you eat,
And you get to come back. Yeah.
you know, you eat your own kind's brain. You eat your own kind's brain. You get the prions in you, and you get that mad cow disease.
Mm-hmm.
This is very, very much like this. This is hand in hand with that. I would just love that.
That would work. Would you want to die on impact on the moon, or would you want to land on the moon and then die of asphyxiation after kind of look around the moon? Because like if I'm given the option, I would like to land on the moon and then kind of die on my own time.
I want to be bloodied and beaten and like broken, and I want to kind of look through like blood. I want to be like look through like blood, like covered eyeballs, and see like a red Earth, and I want that to be like the end of season 1 for me. And then
I mean, it seems like you must be an ancillary character if you're
no
season 1.
No.
So
And then it goes black, right? It goes red because of the blood in my eyes, and then you just see text on the screen 1,000 years later, and I'm waking up. That's how season 2 begins.
That's how it begins. I thought it was going to begin with like, what a horrible dream, like those
that
awful
shit happened.
shows.
No,
what's the name of a show that did that? I feel like that's the kind of knowledge you would have.
Oh, well, no, you got to go back to like the 90s TV shows, like not specifically Quantum Leap, but TV shows from that cut from that same cloth to get episodes where they actually just wake up. Now, I will say this, in the Star Trek universe, the final episode of Star Trek Enterprise reveals that everything we've seen, the past 5 seasons, I believe, of this TV show, was a different Star Trek character from a different Star Trek TV show watching a hologram, watching a holographic projection, and like watching the historical records.
I don't like that.
Because he's a couple hundred years ahead, right? So it's William Riker goes, that was great to see how things were back then. Well, back to fucking green bitches and running shit. And he just like walks off the holodeck, and you're like, bro, I don't know if I like that.
Like, wait, so nothing was at stake?
Well, it was all at stake, but they like kind of like
back then. Yeah, that seems like they fumbled it.
Of course they fumbled it. Yeah. But no, that's the only example that I can think of where at the end they kind of pull the rug out that, oh yeah, like this was, I mean, it kind of didn't happen the way
they love using their show to set up their next one.
Yeah. Well, see, they did it in reverse here though. This was reversed though. This was like Riker had been canceled for years, right? Like that uniform didn't fit. And you know, he was wearing the old school uniform. It didn't even make sense. But I like the new Star Trek. Like if I wanted to tell somebody these days who wanted, like, if they were like, hey, I kind of want to get into Star Trek. I just think the uniforms look cool, and I know that like women are really Discovery? Into Star Trek. Yeah. No, absolutely not. Stay away from that. Stay away from that woke ass shit. Unless you're a lady or you know, another. But if you want to watch Star Trek Discovery, I would say that's more for ladies and others.
So you're saying Picard?
Oh, that's just a slap in the face to all of us as Star Trek fans. That is bottom 2 Star Treks ever. Maybe bottom Star Trek ever is Picard. It might be worse than Discovery because you take such beloved characters and like rub dirt and doo-doo on their face. It's like it's like if they did Lord of the Rings. It's like if they're like, we're making Lord of the Rings 2. Return of the King Part 2, and the like, I don't know, Arwen just gets like dirty dicked by some like goblins or something at the beginning.
It's literally, it would actually be like if Lord of the Rings came back and you got to see Frodo's life, and everyone's like, fuck you, Frodo, can't believe what you did after the ring. And he's like, looks at the camera, he's like, you don't know what I did after the ring, do you? It was pretty bad.
I don't want to get it. I don't want to get into like a whole nerdy thing here, but like Captain, like Patrick Stewart, you've probably seen like memes of him as Captain Picard, and like the way he played that character was very serious. He didn't think of it as a silly role. He's a dramatically trained actor, so he played it seriously, and he's sort of like this space diplomat who thinks and talks his way out of things, and he comes to the table with reason.
He's literally a superhero, as far as superhero as a regular human could be.
Yeah,
not counting Batman, but yeah,
he's the negotiator. Like he's the smartest guy in the room. I think 100%.
I tell people he's the type of guy that could sit down with like Yoda and Palpatine and negotiate a truce between the Jedi and the Sith.
For sure.
And he's just a guy, but he literally is like, there's some things you guys should talk about.
Yeah. So then they have him in this new show, and it's okay that that Patrick Stewart is a very old man. He's, pushing 90 or whatever. You can work around that. Put him in that goddamn chair and have him point forward and have him outthink some fucking aliens. Instead, they got him like limping, jogging upstairs with 30 cuts. And I think they had him on a toilet with his pants down. And it's like, get out of here. So none of that. But if you want to watch good Star Trek, it's Brave New Worlds. There's this new show that's got Captain Pike. I've talked about it before. Yeah. That is an amazing show. That is so good. It's brand new Star Trek with young, new actors for the most part. And it's spectacular. This is a good mixture of the two. And I think the captain is a very interesting mixture of former captains, right? Like he's definitely a thinking guy. And it seems like he's more into delegating and like having his team go out and do shit. And his hair is just so fucking on point. It's a thing of beauty. Show me Captain Pike's hair, please. This is, I've told you about this. This is the guy who knows his future and knows he's going to get his face melted and be in a wheelchair. And all he's going to communicate with beeps and boops. He's like R2-D2 with an ugly face. He knows that's coming, but he's going to allow it to happen because he knows how many people are going to live. He knows their names. He knows the names of the children who will live. And he kind of like lives with that day to day. But that's like 10 years from. Oh my God! Look, that's a man.
I gotta check.
Show me that smoke show with a beard. Show me. Google this. Captain Pike with beard.
Naked.
You're gonna. Well, he's shirtless. Don't worry.
This is Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, right?
Thank you. Strange New Worlds. I said.
Yeah. I didn't watch this one, but I've heard great things. And I even watched, like, there's actually quite a few more Star Treks, like what you're talking about, Woody. They've kind of expanded into more because, that's great.
Could knock him
what they
out.
did, like, when I first got Star Trek, like, I saw the trailer for the J.J. Abrams movie where the kid was, like, playing Beastie Boys and, like, driving in the old school car and the fast car. Like, the cop super bike reaches up to him like so fast in the car, like shifting gears, and he jumps out, and the cop's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "My name's James Kirk." And
James Tiberius Kirk.
Yeah, I was like, "This is sick. Cool, I'll check it out." J.J. Abrams gets things excited, gets me excited for things. Doesn't always see it to the end, but I saw that. I was like, oh, Star Trek's cool. I'm going to go check out Star Trek. I'm ready in my life to watch a mature space show, whatever it may be. No idea what it was. I put on Star Trek, the original series, and tried. I tried. Oldest one. Yeah. And it just was not for me. I couldn't do it. Everything about it to me sucked at the time. Then I went to Next Generation and I actually couldn't do it. I didn't like Next Generation. And then my buddy I told him, I was like, I didn't like Next Generation. He's like, yeah, you have to start when Riker has a beard. If you're watching before Riker has the beard, you're there too early. So it's literally season 3 is where it finds its footing. And now if anyone ever wanted to watch, any of you fucking losers listening to this podcast right now, you want to watch it, go to, you fit fucking, you know what? You're not fat, but you were always skinny. You're weak and you're you're deadlifting a bunch it doesn't matter, you little fucking pushover. You're still a skinny fucking weakling loser. You make me sick. You're a bitch, and I don't care if you don't like when I'm
with your dribbly, watery cum loads.
Yes, so true.
This Next Generation, I use a watch list. Guy listening at home, use the watch list. Watch the best episodes, the best order if you want. Then you'll go back and watch a whole bunch. But I always loved Darmok and Jalada Tanagra. But long story short, that was a whole type of Star Trek.
When the walls fell.
And then Voyager and Deep Space, they're kind of like Next Generation. No, he's right. Temba, his arms wide.
What's the next part? It was like something.
Shaka, when the walls fell, Temba, his arms wide. Yeah. Anyways, it's a great episode. But then the other ones are kind of like that too. And then the Star Trek movies, like I really like the ones with Picard, but you could still go watch Wrath of Khan because that one's old Star Trek. But what's so cool about it is like the whole thing's filmed in like one fucking room, and somehow it's an amazing movie. It's a cheap ass fucking movie, Wrath of Khan, but I like it.
Wrath of Khan uses a lot of shots from the movie before.
Oh, does it?
Actually, no, it's the other one. It's the next one. Search for Spock reuses some Wrath of Khan shots.
Okay.
But
I didn't watch. I never saw. I only watched Wrath of Khan during pandemic because I couldn't deal with old school Star Trek. And I liked the J.J. Abrams movies. They were like fun, but not like how Star Trek is. Star Trek is like, what's fun is like when like something happens in Next Generation and you kind of like pause it or you finish it after and you're like, huh, what would I do? And like, sometimes a scenario happens and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what Picard's going to do, because you like and you admire how he thinks and how he approaches problems and problem solving. Now they're a bit more action oriented. They like Discovery is like a whole bunch of action scenes and like high stakes stuff that it's like there's not even a philosophical question. So it's like the philosophical Star Trek and then the action Star Trek. And I don't know where Strange New Worlds is at, but I watched Star Trek Prodigy, which was and I watched the first episode. I meant to go back, but I was like, well, that was fun. Thing, right? Yeah. I was like, that was fun. It wasn't philosophical Star Trek. No, it was like the other one, but it was kind of fun.
Star Trek is one of my areas of study. The original is sort of unwatchable, in my opinion. It's worth going back if you admire things like the filming locations outside Los Angeles and noticing that's, hey, I've seen Little House on the Prairie. They just put aluminum foil on the rocks. Like, I've been there. Like, we shot my stupid YouTube video out there. Everything's shot out there on those fucking rocks. They just throw aluminum foil on it. So it's almost unwatchable. The one I mentioned, Strange New Worlds, I believe, they bring the Gorn back, who is that laughable enemy from 1969, that man in the green rubber suit. The Gorn are the scariest fucking thing in this new show. Like, they use human bodies to they put their eggs in them. It sounds like they rape people with their egg sacs or something. They sort of dance around exactly what they're going to do to these people. But like, there's one person who was like the only survivor from a Gorn attack, and she's got like PTSD and she gets all shaky when they deal with them. And anytime they deal with them, it's just life or death. It's not like, I don't know. Well, fire the phasers. It's like, run into the sun, fly into the sun. They literally fly into the sun. Like, deeper. It's like one of those submarine movies where they got to go deeper. They're doing that, but with the fucking sun, because the Gorn are after them. It's that scary. And no, I like that one a lot. Next Generation, like you said, very philosophical. The Drumhead is one of the better episodes. That's when they bring aboard this like Federation prosecutor, and she's looking for fucking malfeasance. There's like an accident aboard, and the it was an accident isn't good enough. She's like, oh, conspiracy is afoot, and she like infects the security officer. She's like, Worf, I need you to be in charge of this investigation. There are saboteurs afoot, and all of a sudden it gets very militarized, and Picard's being squeezed out because she's called 3 admirals, and they're going to have a big like military like tribunal or whatever, and she's over there all hoity-toity. And Picard just walks in front of him. No. And just fucking lays it out there. Just lays it down. Brings up these historical references and fucking points fingers and hurts feelings. And when it's done, she's a jabbering mess. And all the admirals walk out of the room without she's disgraced.
And Worf is like an Uruk-hai, by the way. So if you put him in charge of security, that's cool. But now imagine your Uruk-hai is like trying to lead everything.
Yeah, he apologizes to Picard after that one. He apologizes.
Oh yeah, because he's a half elf, half Uruk-hai.
It's true. He apologizes twice. He apologizes another time. Yeah, when Data has to take command, he like speaks out of turn in front of the crew, and Data takes him in the back. And he's like, if you can't perform your duties, I'm gonna relieve you of your of them. You know, he's like, what have I done wrong? He's like, you question my orders in front of the crew. You'd never question Captain Picard's orders in front of the crew. Not like that, you wouldn't. And he's like, God damn it, you're right, Data. I'm sorry.
Data's like a break. That's like a breakout character.
Data goes, I hope this hasn't ruined our friendship, Mr. Worf. And Data goes, it is I who endangered our friendship. And they like bro out so hard that you know that they've coalesced so much now that when they go back out into that room, oh, we're all working now.
I love that shit. I love things like that. I'll never forget. I don't know how much you guys like playing the game Metal Gear Solid. You know that game back in the day? It's
yeah.
There's like in Metal Gear Solid, the one on PlayStation 1, you're like, you play as Solid Snake, you're this military badass dude, and you end up meeting a nerd, like a super nerd, this guy whose name is Otacon, which is like based on anime and stuff, and he's the nerdiest guy, Hal. He's like so lame, and Snake's so cool with the gun and the bandana, and at the end of the game, you pretty much like normally save that character. That guy gets like, you save with him, he helped you defeat Metal Gear Rex, and you get off and you're good. Metal Gear 2, you don't play as Snake, but Snake is in the game. And at one point, like Hal has to do something, and you see like this is Snake and Hal seeing each other for the first time since the first game. And Snake's so cool, and Hal's like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know if I could do it. And like Snake's like, hey, believe in yourself. And Hal's like, okay, I'll do it. And it's so weird because it's PS2 with shitty PS2 graphics. But then they go and they do this handshake that's this like next level.
Yeah.
And it's like so weird seeing this like nerdy guy do it, but he's doing it with Snake.
He knows
it's so
handshake.
fucking legit. He knows the handshake and they do it. And in like 2002 or whatever, 2001, like even a movie wouldn't hit this beat so hard. And the video game doesn't. I remember being like 17, like, yo, Otacon's fucking cool now. Like, he's friends with Snake.
He knows the
friends.
handshake.
What's slightly a similar moment? It's a game trailer. It's the game trailer for Escape from Tarkov. There's this moment, and this is one of their early trade ones where essentially you got Russia versus the U.S. Like that's what it boils down to. And like there's Russians and U.S. soldiers fighting it out with machine guns in like a shower. Like there's like tile divider walls and stuff, and shit's blowing up everywhere. And like everybody gets wasted. And then like there's like two survivors who at the end are like pointing their guns at each other. But then on the outside you hear it's the fucking scavengers. It's the fucking locals who are the third party in the game that everybody has to worry about. And the Russian kind of looks at the American and the American goes, yeah. And like throws him his fucking AK, and they fucking cock that shit and like tap him on the shoulder, and they fucking advance like stacked up, all tactical and shit to go get the scavs. And the music is like dun, dun, and then like kind of zooms out and shows you the larger world of Tarkov that this one little fight was a part of. And you're
Is
like,
that the original trailer for it?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's like the original one I saw. Yeah, it's good shit. It's Tarkov is a big part of my life right now.
You've been killing it in solos, right? Still nobody but you.
It's sick. They're in the showers and they got the guns at each other, and you hear the guys upstairs. They're like, and he looks at him like, and he talks to this guy. Yeah, and it's sick. It is cool. I love that.
It's
shit.
like we're at war here, but we're not scum like those cocksuckers. Let's fucking get out of here alive, bro. Because like the other thing is like they're not. It's essentially kind of like a little bit what's going on there now. I bet. You've got the Wagner group, which is like mercenaries, and which is what the Bear are. The Bear are essentially the Wagner group.
There's a funny comment on this, by the way. Someone said it would have been more realistic if they wiggled at each other. Like, which I guess people do that, like with the aim or like aiming. Yeah,
that's what we do in game. And it's faster than like hitting a key and like giving somebody a hand signal. You just give them the wiggle. I
wiggle at people.
Well, I coordinate with people like sometimes I'll be in the game and I'll meet another player scav and I'll be like, dude, there's players right over there. I'm gonna flank around, and like we'll be long out of like earshot because you have to be to avoid. So I'll give him the wiggle from on top of the hill, and I'll look down there in the valley. He's wiggling back, or he'll give me one of these with his gun. It's good shit. Yeah,
that does sound fun.
Let me know next time you're doing it. I feel like dude, just doing DMZ, which is like baby's first Tarkov, has like got me comfortable with just going out and losing everything I built up to get.
So them's fighting words. First of all, maybe you don't understand what you're talking about. Woody's about to get back into Tarkov, maybe a little bit. I know one of my good friends, Mitty, he just like got his hands had to have a surgery with pins in it and stuff. Now he's able to game again, and he's picked Tarkov to kind of like pick up. And I think he's seeing it as like hand rehab to some extent. And I have been playing like 8-10 hours a day minimum for 3 weeks almost now. So I'm real far ahead, and I mostly like to play with myself, but for you two gentlemen, and we could play together and get some squads together and have some fun, because I absolutely love the game. And I have all the keys that y'all are going to need for your quests anyway. Like you're not going to want to have to deal with that. I'm the fucking key master.
What do you call this genre, by the way, you guys?
It's an extraction shooter.
Yeah. Extraction. You know that I think I saw a video about it, and I totally agree that this is the end of battle royales. Which is true because I see how many people play DMZ or like want to play DMZ in my close circle versus Warzone, and it just kind of offers way more. There's like way more. Warzone is like you go in and like you could throw your whole life away, and that could be that. Like I've gone in on DMZ, which I'm sure is like a lot, and I was playing with Tarkov friends, but they were like, "Yo, we're going in stealth, we're doing our mission, and we're leaving." We went in and we were quiet the entire time, did everything we did. We didn't even see a single person, and the mission took like 2 times as long as it could have if we were running gunned. But we didn't see a single person. Nothing bad happened. No one shot. We got out and we're like, way to go, boys. We're going home to dinner to our families. And it wasn't even about, there was no one shot. No one
was
shot
that DMZ?
Flawless victory.
Yeah, we
that
were like
DMZ?
lying down and
Tarkov?
stuff and like letting people go by and not even picking the fights that don't need to happen.
So Tarkov's one of those games that you can play it however you like. You can play it as a survival game. You don't need a gun. You can go in there with a knife and play it as a stealth survival game where your whole mission, make up a mission for yourself. My mission is to get food for the United Nations. I wear my United Nations uniform. I use my knife and my flares and my stun grenades, and I'm in and out with as much food as I can get every time.
Dude, that's
you can make up some
boring.
You can role play that shit if you want. What I like to do is role play a little bit in the aspect that I'm very focused on the missions. The game has a story just like an RPG does. It's just that at this RPG, there happens to be a bunch of it's a multiplayer RPG is what it is if you think about it. Yeah. Because there's other people existing in that continuous fucking world that just keeps resetting every time you go in and out of it.
Could you decide your goal is
and
to be
they're all trying to we all have RPG characters. We're trying to get our strength up, our crafting up, our metabolisms, for God's sake. We're all just trying to do it in the same fucking world. So it means we're butting heads and fighting each other and killing each other.
Can you choose to like be the toughest, like a known scav? Do all the scavs look the same, or could you be like, yeah, I'm a scav player and I wear a red hat and people know when they see the red hat scav,
they give you
that guy
an AI.
So
you're going to be a Russian in a bubble jacket type vibe or something.
But there's not like a group of people out there who are like, we're the scav team. Like we're just the best at this and we fuck you up and we don't even do the missions. We just like raid you and steal your stuff.
Yeah, that's not how it works. No, most people just play the game as a shooter and like go in there frag out, honestly. And the real reason to do the quest for a lot of people is because they get you. They make it easier to acquire the bullets, the weapons, and the armor that you want. They give you quicker access, more access, and easier access. Whereas if you just go in there at level 1, you have what you're given to begin with, which is okay. You've got a nice little supply there. None of it's really like armor piercing per se, which is important. Mm-hmm. But that's it. Now you go out in that world and find yourself some good ammo. Find yourself some good guns. Like it's up to you. To get shit done. But if you go through all at this point, like I buy everything for an incredibly reduced price. If you wanted to build a good AK-47, your pistol grip, the RK3, I think is the best one. That would cost you 65 or 70,000 rubles. Mm-hmm. It cost me 9,000 rubles. And like that, and just multiply that times every part that's on a machine gun. And all of a sudden, my gun cost me like 150,000, and it's a badass motherfucker. Yours just cost you 380,000 rubles. If you lose this, you're gonna cry. Yeah. I'll just make another one and another one and another one. I saved a preset. I click 3 buttons, and another one just shits out onto my fucking screen. And I've got so much money, I don't notice that it's gone. It's a different experience if you treat it like an RPG, I think, and like run through those quests. Because
makes sense.
You need XP to get levels, and you need levels to get traders, and you need traders to get all that shit I was talking about.
Yeah.
And
are you any closer to Kappa?
Every day you're closer to Kappa.
do you have do you know like the achievement bar? Like, are you like halfway there, or do you not even know?
Oh, it's hard to. I have a lot to go. To go. There are some quests that take. I got 2 of them. 2 of the kills.
What does that mean?
And you're waiting like time, I imagine.
Yeah, they made it harder. Now it's not 100 meters anymore. It's 125 meters, and it's 3 headshots on most of the maps. Not interchange anymore, thank God. But now Lighthouse, because that's in the map. in the game. So it's you just got to snipe. You've got to put some time and effort into putting yourself into positions where there will be targets at 125 meters to begin with. And that takes some doing, but there's known places to do it on all of the maps where people are going to have to go and do something like open a door with a key. You go 125 meters from that door, you lay down, you get yourself some juice, literally. And and you sit there on your phone listening in case somebody sneaks up on you, and you're just watching that little window on your screen, waiting for somebody to like start going up that spiral staircase and start turning that door, and you're like, oh, God, fucking don't miss. And you try to hit your shot.
Please don't be 40 minutes for nothing.
It can be difficult to synergize your quests appropriately to balance getting as many quests simultaneously with making it attainable, because sometimes it's like, hey, wear this and that, use that gun, and it's like, damn, every time I die I have to go buy 8 different fucking things because they've got me dancing the silly tightrope. But anyway, Tarkov is a very in-depth game. Would love to have both of you to play, all 3 of you to play with me sometime.
Absolutely.
There's no reason Taylor couldn't play Escape from Tarkov in a very casual kind of way, and I would love that. We could all go in with fucking silly kits, and like we could go to Factory, for example, where if we go 5 deep, there's only one other human that's allowed on that map. We swarm his ass. Now we own the whole map, and we fight AI together as a fun little squad.
Dude, I would have fun playing. I mean, with the new PC, I got to play a game super demanding just to have fun with it. But like, I never want to. I don't want to be a reason that people lose loot. Like that's like.
Oh no, we wouldn't play with you with our loot.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
I'll accidentally cause a problem.
What it really comes down to is like, if somebody loses their loot, they lost their own fucking loot, right? Like I got no. If you're a grown ass man and you're bitching about loot at this point, I got no patience for you. I've gained and lost so much fucking loot that I don't fucking care.
Gained and lost 1,000 fortunes.
No, I really, and it's not even the money. There is some etiquette to Tarkov though. I watched a video today, and there's like 3 guys playing together, and one guy opens an expensive door. And the other guy runs in and starts looting the shit, and he goes, "Whoa, that's my room." And he's like, he's like, "Free stuff." He's like grabbing it. And he goes, bam, fucking kills him, kills his buddy or whatever. And he goes, dude, I don't play that shit. Tarkov etiquette. And there's a third guy there. It's from his perspective. He's a streamer. And he's just like, oh no. And he goes, it's Tarkov etiquette, dude. What are you thinking? And the other guy's, I don't know about that horse shit, man. He's like, oh, really? Maybe I won't dump your gear. This is my fucking rig now. He's like, he goes, fuck you. I'm taking all your shit. And it's like, damn, a friendship just broke up. Like
these guys went to high school together.
like that's it. Like, and I totally get everything that happened in that moment, because
I'm sorry, Kyle. Which side were you saying was incorrect?
Listen, like there's going to be a lot of instances soon where I'm going to open a door for Woody, and he needs to go in there to get a quest item. This is an item that is only there if he has the quest. Mm-hmm. Like he'll be able to see it, but I won't. It's kind of like Ghost. Yeah. And so I have that rare key. You can't even buy this motherfucker. You got to find it. And I let him in there. Well, he's not going to go start searching the PCs, rifling through those dead bodies' pockets. No. I get that gear because I invested the time, energy, and sometimes lots of like in-game money into acquiring this key. Part of that is a little bit by little bit every time I turn it, because there's only 40 turns on this bitch. Uh-huh. I get some value every time I turn it out of the room, so that this all makes sense as in my head. It always has to be adding to a profit. But that's the etiquette. Like it's for me to give, not for him to take. Yeah. It's like he came to my house.
Makes sense.
Right? Like
because you grinded.
I actually, like, it'd be fine if he popped in my refrigerator, but I guess but there are friendships where it's not exactly cool to pop into your refrigerator. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that if you would have them in your home, but you certainly wouldn't. You'd be like taken aback if they pulled open your fridge and maybe grabbed like that Fresca that you'd been saving or some shit. We've all got like that one like fancy soda in the back, or that sparkling
they take
water.
One of my glass bottled sodas, like, help yourself.
It's like a
dickhead.
Protein snack that was like $5 or something.
Yeah. They're fucking those are individually that's one of the funniest things I've look there are jokes and that are funny and they have to be crafted. I saw this great video of Jerry Seinfeld talking about how he writes jokes, and he shows his notepads. Taylor, you got to find this video and see how he like crafts jokks. A lot of it to him seemed to be like, that's 5 funny words. Like just getting those 5 funny words together.
Well, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld stand up. It's not good.
You know what I mean? But he's talking about like writing screenplays. Like he's talking about screenplay writing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and but I had that instance where somebody was regaling me with a bit of a tale of how they all went on one of it. So we've got like a gaming Discord, right? I say, the PKA Discord, but I game in it. So that to me, it's that. Mm-hmm. And I guess we've all kind of got a tight knit group. These guys go on trips together in real life now. A lot of them do. And like they invited this one guy on the trip they didn't know very well, and they were talking about how he was like scarfing down the fucking the what's little
moon
Debbie's
pies
and the moon pies, and the guy was like, I had bought those moon pies, those were my moon pies. He's like, there's 12 in a box, and after he ate the 4th one, I said, hey dude, they're individually wrapped for a reason. And I just thought, like, that's such a good like there's no retort to that. You just have to be like,
you just sit there with moon pie on your face.
you just avoid eye contact and finish your moon pie and go to bed.
No, and like, have you ever had a moon pie? The very idea of a second, like it is the most dense.
Wait, I have to pull this up.
Forms of sugar.
Your mouth would be so dry.
Look up a moon pie. It's like the kind of snack that like truckers get at gas stations when their blood sugar's low, and you need 400 calories of sugar right just now.
So
because in Canada,
they are the moon pie when you. Hang on, let me guess. In Canada, a moon pie is when you come on a girl's ass.
No, that's pretty good though.
That's what I call it here.
I thought you were talking about a half moon, because that's what we sell in Canada. You guys know half moons?
No, I haven't heard of that.
You could fucking.
That's when those girls wear those pants where they like.
Okay, this is a half moon in Canada. You see this item?
Yeah,
Only look at half of it, and now take the chocolate off of it.
Oh, that's your fucking healthcare system at work. That's what y'all pay for in exchange. Y'all get half the cookie and they take the chocolate.
No,
off.
but actually, it
I got
48,000 times better than that.
Yeah, I mean,
you haven't pulled it up yet. You have to see it.
You told us what it was.
I got it.
I could tell that those don't have the like this. The half moon's a Twinkie. It's a flattened Twinkie.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you know what a Canadian moon pie is?
No.
It's when you come in a guy's ass.
Gotcha! Now you're gay. Leave in the comments that Harley is gay. Harley's gay. Everyone's joking about it. Everyone knows he's gay. He's the gayest man in Canada.
Finnster, get out
Very
of my
few
dreams.
people are that well known. He's the tallest Jew and the gayest Canadian.
No, the banana moon pie.
No, that's
wait. I pulled up a Walmart link. Pull it up.
Let me finish now. Look, that banana moon pie, one of my favorite childhood treats. Okay, love those fucking things. I will say this: it's like a Popeye's biscuit. This thing, that inside cookie, if they call it that, it is not a cookie.
It's all but
it
powder.
Is a substance. That the cookie, if you will, of this is a substance that you have never put in your mouth before. Okay, it's crumbly and yet spongy. It's tough and yet it sort of melts in your mouth like cream or nougat or something like that. It's bizarre. They are not good. I do not recommend them.
I haven't had one since I was young.
Don't have a moon pie. I don't know anything about
all these things. By the way, all of these, like these types of things, like snowballs and ho-hos.
Yeah.
But all of those treats are a billion times better in Canada. I'm not trying to defend my country's honor, like when you guys are making fun of being like, no, wait, the snacks are good. No, but I promise you guys, I don't eat Swiss rolls in the USA or snowballs or anything that like Hostess makes or whatever in the USA. They're so drastically different in Canada. It's crazy. And I think our half moons exist because what you're right, you might be right, like per individually wrapped food, like the calorie or sugar might be so high that we can only do the half.
Let me ask you this: do y'all do the Reese's with 4 cups in the fucking slider.
We did get that. It's like it has a 4th cup, right? With
what
like
do you mean
a yellow
you did
band.
get that? You make it
used to be
sound like
3.
it's the iPhone 14. Like, yeah,
It is. No, we got that. We got that like last year. The 4 cups came in like last year. You know what? I have an issue with it. I love Reese's Pieces. That's
you want a little
here's
movie
the problem.
trivia?
Here's the problem. I want Reese's Pieces. I don't necessarily always want Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. And now I can only find Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. There's no the old school Reese's Pieces at any of my. It's Reese's Pieces with a peanut inside of it.
Supply store.
I've never had that.
You know,
again, I like this piece of trivia he's about to give you guys.
Yes, I want to hear.
Do you know the trivia already?
No. I wanted you to ask,
and then I wanted to see trivia. You know, it's the ET trivia.
Yeah,
walkie-talkie.
Steven, it's about how a Jew saved Reese's.
Steven Spielberg wanted M&Ms. All right, he wanted M&Ms because that's his favorite candy, and they were like, "No, we don't. We're good. We don't want it in your weird fucking alien movie." And Reese's Pieces was like, "Yeah, hook us up. Let's do it. I bet aliens would love a nice peanut buttery treat." and that really saved the whole brand.
It was that iconic scene where they're putting it down and he's following the candy and eating it. Reese's Pieces, actually, Reese's was going bankrupt that year. They were like, they had been in the red for like a decade and it was over. And then sales went up like 8,000% after the movie and it never went down after that.
It has to be in the fucking movie theater now. Like, you know, every time you go to the movie, that's where you get it, Harley. If you actually wanted it, every time you go to the movie theater, that's just quintessential.
No, but it's Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it in Canada.
I don't understand what you mean. Like peanut, like actual hard,
like a full
nuts?
peanut.
Like imagine a peanut M&M, but it's a Reese's Pieces, but it's a peanut.
I've never had that.
It has the peanut butter still. It is a full Reese's Pieces.
Oh,
but it's like a big one. It's a ball like with a peanut inside of it.
Okay, so they take a peanut and then they cover it with peanut butter and then they wrap that in chocolate and then they put that candy coating on the top so it doesn't melt. And you don't want that.
I'm not saying I don't want that. I love it.
You've had enough.
Also,
that's
everywhere. That's all you can get. And you're looking at a Canadian. In French is cacahuète. So you should be happy that they didn't put cacahuète.
Arachide.
Arachide. Or so is cacahuète.
Is it really?
Yeah, so is cacahuète. You're not taking that in. Cacahuète. And tired is fatigué. So tired is fat and gay, and peanut is cacahuète. Trust me, this is the shit we laughed at when we were trying to learn the language.
I mean, French is hilarious. I don't think we have any French listeners, so we can really go in on them.
You ever see a Frenchman just beaten terribly just for being one? Are there hate groups? What I'm saying there, that are there guys at the bar, maybe rough guys to begin with, but if they heard like someone with that silly accent, would they like maybe target him? Like
the rough guys at the bar are French. The Hells Angels are like all French. Like you look up the Hells Angels, like most iconic members are the Frenchest Canadians ever, like the most.
Are they intimidating with their French accents?
The number one guy, his name was Mom.
It's so hardcore. It's like he doesn't even need. He's like
literally like
yes,
his name was Mom, and like he controlled, like he just like was all over the news when shit went down.
Damn, I didn't know about the huge French biker problem in Canada.
And if you go far out west, it's actually there was a lot of brown gang members back in the day, like East Indian, and that helped a lot of that helped in a strange way, like empower some of the brown kids growing up around me, because they were like, we could move like gangsters too.
Give me like a Bugsy type gangster who's trying to knock over a few banks, but he's Indian. He's like from New Delhi.
Oh fuck!
All right, you could actually. He's gonna.
Fuck. No,
let me help you out a little bit. Let me help you out a little bit. I'm gonna help you out a little bit while you think about the Indian accent. Those flatfoots are never gonna catch him. He's get in the cab. Yeah, the coppers.
The flatfeet in Vancouver is not. They have no chance at coming back at us. We are too tough. We are the two toughest gangs in Vancouver. Oi, what the fuck? How do I get to Muggsy? Not Muggsy
sort of
Bogues.
Going across the Midwest,
player.
like knocking over banks. Kansas City, Missouri.
Hey, stick it up. Stick it up. You give me. You'll do the necessary and fill the bag with all of the coins and monies. Now let us get out of here, fellow criminals.
You have a quick
Hey, repeat myself before you fill the bag with money. Hey, you over there.
This
Get
is
on
exactly
your ass.
why they
Get your
looked up.
fucking ass on the ground.
This is exactly why they looked up to this guy, because of the accent you're doing right now.
Yeah,
you could pull it up. It's a 15-second clip. Woody, trust me, it's not going to claim the podcast.
Woody, he knows them.
Oh, I'll tell them.
Just want these guys to know you got another thing coming, bitch. I'm still around.
He wasn't around long.
Okay, well, that guy was fucking
That's
cool
just
as hell. He was like, no, that's not Mom. That's Bindi Joe Howell.
But
You'd see him in like interviews, and you're like, this is crazy, bro. They're like rolling up to this like hardcore like street gangster, like live in the Canadian news. They're like, what do you got to say? He's like, I'm still around, bitch. Like that shit kind of like kind of hit hard back in the day.
It's funny what's like hard in Canada.
The comment
they're
on this
called
is like
the parking spot kings, and they just steal your spots. They bully you. They'll come up to you and go, you are overweight.
Oh my God. I
mean
got such a question I want to ask you guys after you do your ad read.
Ad reads. And after that ad read, I want to talk about my Super Bowl ad idea.
Okay, after your Super Bowl ad idea,
jot
I
that
have
down
a question.
in the memory book so we know.
It's already in the memory book.
Okay, good. Happy New Year's from Death by Gummy Bears, and I'm reading this ad as they sent it. The fucking government once again tried to rule by overreach. Government just hates seeing us having a little fun. So, the fucking government, guys. You guys couldn't use Death by Gummy Bears because apparently the government.
The fucking government.
The fucking government. I love when I got the read from them, I'm like, this is so fucking funny. Like, it's clearly some guy like the fucking government, and someone went in and was like, let's tamp it down a little bit. We're leaving the fucking in there. But yeah, this is ridiculous. The government, their bullshit overreach. They said, get this. They said you can't put that many drugs in a little gummy bear. Where you can't make a mind altering substance that tiny with that strong. Where we're a bitch government. That's our government, folks. The government. That's our government, folks. Our government went to Death by Gummy Bears. They told them, believe me. They told them. They said you cannot get fucked up to this extent. Now, in the America I live, you are free to get as fucked as you want on online orderable drugs. And the fact that the government would attempt to step in and not only say, you can't do this, but shut it down, it is despicable. RealDBG.com, promo code PKA23. Support another government-hating institution like Death by Gummy Bears. It's great when you can get two wonderful things, hating the government and high as shit, all in one. So check out RealDBG.com and use promo code PKA23. I'm losing my voice. They're so strong. 100 milligrams is in this. They're so strong. The government was like, these gummy bears are too strong, man. And Death by Gummy Bears said, fuck you. And then we're rebranding and selling our strongest gummy bears. It is. I mean, but also, like, come on, the packaging, it has like red warnings on it, like, warning, this isn't a snack, idiot. Like, you'll think that you can see through time if you take too many of these. I will add, like, people that, like Woody said, if you're a pro, you can do it. Even if you are a self-described pro, start with half. Just start with half still. Worst case scenario is you pop the other half and half in like 45 minutes. Like, start with half. Because it's not the same tolerance. I haven't said this in a few weeks. It's for people who don't know, like HHC, all Delta 8, it's not the same exact tolerance as weed. So like my buddy who smokes a shit ton of dabs, weed, oil all the time, he came over to my house and he took 2 of these when I told him not to. And he literally, like, after he told me, he was like, I just took 2 of those things. And I'm like, oh, no, like, you're fucking with me, right?
Dumb
like, and I told him, I'm like, start with 1. He's like, I smoke a ton of weed. And I was like, no, it's not the same, man. He melted into the couch and he was like, he like texted his wife.
Sounds
and
like
he's
he
like,
did the right thing,
hey,
actually.
I'm going to have to hang out at Taylor's for like hours longer. he Ubered home. So start with half. They're very strong. Code PKA23 for 23% off. Yes, sir. It's great because I can look over there on the free sponsorship table and it's like, I got all the workout things. I got drugs. Like, what else do we need? What else do we? I think we should just find more drug companies, but different drugs. Obviously not weed because you can't cross-pollinate there. Sex toys, no, I'm thinking more like, man, if we could get sponsored by Diet Pepsi. just get a bunch of Pepsi sent to my house.
You should sell Woody's ass
Coke
as a fleshlight
Zero.
mold.
I'm not a Coke Zero.
You don't want your
whose
fans
ass?
to Woody's.
Oh, we can sell all of our
Each of you,
buttholes as flashlights.
so people could fuck you and come in you.
That's what you get. You can
That's
buy
what
like
holds
those
you,
like,
put your
like
middle
fake
finger there.
asses that you can. This is my awful ass.
Taylor,
No one likes it. Yeah.
you'll do that if the money were raised, right?
How do you take a mold of your butthole?
So what we would do is we would contact one of
very
the
carefully. I was imagining.
no. So you have to be like fully shaved back there, but don't worry. There's a lady that does that. It's fun, and we would have to get in touch with one of those companies that actually does this, usually for porn stars.
Okay.
But I remember
Good.
one time, this was a bit on Howard Stern that went like so many steps that it was like, all right, it's gonna happen now. And it's like when the shit hit the fan, the guy was like, no, because what they were trying to do was to get Eric the midget, who was a midget with like in a wheelchair bound midget. They were trying to make a full body.
I said, yeah, I put that together.
This little guy.
To
To make a full body like sex doll of him, and they had gotten to the point where it's like, all right, we're going to pay you this much money. This company, it was the Real Doll people. This is Dave from Real Doll. He's here.
Oh,
You're going to go with Dave they've like, yes, we're going to do this, that, and the other. We're going to measure you. You're going to take moldings and castings. And yes, he's like, no, I will not do it. Because he wants to be a serious actor. And through his connections with the show, I don't remember which ones, but he got on a few like, those like action shows on TNT. I can't think of the names of them, but I don't know, like some action here, some like secret agent running around. Like he got in the background of a few shows, maybe Law and Order or something, because of his affiliations with the show. So, and he thought, and because of that, he's like, I'm Eric the actor now. I'm a serious actor. You can't make a sex doll of me, but you know better than that. So, what was the amount of money that you would need, do you think, to go through the whole molding process? Let's just say we're going to fly you in to San Diego. We're going to call it a 4-day weekend. Okay. There'll be you're going to get molded. We're going to need a full rear end. Okay. And I believe the fans would prefer, Taylor, if you had a vagina and a rectum, for the doll's sake.
I don't have a vagina.
We will pick one for you. Actually,
This is barely real anymore. You can mold my dick. I'm good with you can pop my dick in a mold.
Oh, I see. I'm trying to avoid that because I want to be part of the mold team, and I thought there'd be a lot of imagination.
I'm only doing it if you have to handle the mold of my dick.
Well,
Publicly.
you've stumbled right into my plot. I have a
card.
I like reveal this is a green screen. There's like guys back there being molded right now.
It's like, fuck, he called my bluff. It's just gonna tear everything out, like when you pour molten silver in an anthill. Like you just pull all that. I mean, but actually, I would need final right of refusal because I don't know what my butthole looks like, and if it's like just an absolute travesty of a butthole and it's very unappealing looking, then it would cost more money.
Oh my God, he's clearly worried about the exterior appearance.
The exterior appearance of my butthole, because the inside would just be rubber. Anyway, it's not like they're like.
I want it to be ribbed. I want there to be or like ribs with like little dots along the ribs. No, not on the inside. You get the exterior. Everyone gets the same inside. Yes, it is. But the inside is not based on the person. They're one of like 3 or 4 options you can choose from, I believe.
Yeah, it's just like ribbed for texture and stuff. Like there's here you probably
they
can't
didn't
show
like
this.
Fill her up like one of those silver ant.
This is hilarious. Like it's on Amazon.
I want my money back.
Look at the photo. Woody, not what the inside of a pussy looks like with all of its geometric squares.
I have been lied to.
That she's not an 8-bit.
Yeah, you're getting like the appearance of her vagina. And they take like a whole mold of like the outside of her vagina very carefully, and it looks exactly like it. But that's as far as the reality goes in the mold.
So are there people, do you think, that have, or I guess there must be if they're doing this, who are like about to beat off for the evening and they're like, I'm gonna fuck Stoya instead of Trisha. Trisha, that slut. I'm going.
No, like if you spend enough time on Reddit, you'll see like people's collections sometimes of like crazy shit, and sometimes they'll be like, "Yeah, I got a big pile of toys." It is. Whoa, what is that? How many of those do you have? Who buys more than one? Because they'll have like.
How can it be any different?
Gotta catch them all. It'll be the whole ad. They'll have like the full like. It looks like you butchered a human, right? Because you've got like a little of their lower back, their whole ass, and then like 6 or 8 inches of thigh, and then just you've got that's lopped off too. So you've got it. So it's
there's no head, no arms.
It's just ass and holes. That's what they like. And the point, and the best part is like I can't believe there aren't women's groups who are like, look what they've. I see.
I just checked what they have there, and the top post of this month is respectful gangbang MMMMMMMF. That's hilarious.
The foof is that hair that you end up on your tongue at the end of the night. You're not sure where it came from.
She's a blonde. Oh! Like 5 or 6. Respectful gangbang. Do you mind if I come on your tits, m'lady? Like, let's see what's respectful about this. Are people wearing top hats? And this is so far from respectful. Dogfart.com. BBC slut Vanessa Vega squirts during gangbang. This is
Taylor, after seeing that, do you wonder what her last gangbang was like? Like how bad
porn
was the
star
last
barely escapes with life after Russian pulls out knife and demands blood sacrifice. Like what else could? Yeah, this isn't respectful. But it does have lead up, which I imagine this is 50 minutes long. God, do women not have jobs? What's happening? Who's beating off for 50 minutes?
I think when you buy 50 minutes of that video, you're only going to watch it all the way through like once. You know what I mean? Like you're going to press play, jerk off, come, and however far you got in, that's where you stop it at. And next time, I remember where we were. All right. Yeah, Ricardo had just entered the scene. I remember now. Caliente. Let's go.
Eric the pool boy. We just got introduced to him. I wonder if he's going to come into play later.
God damn it, Eric. That's way too much chlorine. I think that's a saltwater pool.
Whoa, now look, his dick's hanging out the bottom of his shorts, and people are noticing. Respectful porn, respectful gangbang. That's so fun. I skipped through it. That was like indifferentiable. Like if they had titled that like brutal gangbang, you'd be like, yeah, sure. Like not like spitting on her face is respectful.
Harley's grandmother was a midget, and so when I brought up little people, it was hurtful for him. And he needed to take a moment to think about that. Little quiet time for him. Didn't want to make us feel bad because of how hard he had it coming up. Hell, there was only 2 refrigerators in the upstairs kitchen. I mean, there was an icebox, but that doesn't count.
And I would never steal poor valor. These are my grandparents. It's not like I inherited like, oh, no water. Oh,
that's one of the I went to a house one time, and that's how I knew that like these were rich people because they had appliances I'd never heard of. they had shit I'd never seen, but like I don't know, like not exactly how I described it, but like their oven was a double wide, double tall. It was like what are you, a fucking chef? Like, nah, you know, why not? And the refrigerator was one of those built into the cabinet refrigerators. That's like who makes this?
Train.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But there were 2 of those.
Nancy Pelosi.
But then I wanted some ice, and they're like, no, the ice box is right over there. And there's like you go over on the cabinet, or not the cabinet, but the counter, which was incredibly long. The counter must have been 8-10 steps long down this long wall where the double stove was. But you lifted the counter up, and there's just like an ice machine there that makes that nice little tiny ice that everybody loves from restaurants. That's just continuously making it underneath the counter. You just fucking scoop your glass. And I was like, why do you have this like $1,800 ice machine just in case we need some tiny pebble ice? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think that might be old school rich though.
I've never seen that.
That's like the fanciest beeper kind of situation at this point. I think I could be wrong because I've just never seen a trash.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Like I remember we had one like in '88, but wallpaper too.
Like a water steamer. Have you seen those?
The things that get me would be you got to have a wine cooler because that's just easy. But I want a centralized stove with the like centralized venting right above it, like it's a fucking hibachi restaurant. And like you could be like Emerald Lagasse and have like 6 of your friends sit around you and prepare on that top. That thing is cool. I've seen some like YouTube chefs with something. It doesn't matter. I've seen some cool situations like that. But again, like the refrigerator. Oh, that's one of my pet peeves. Yeah, I dropped the that's upsetting. Yes, it's perfect. Fridge is my preferred. Refrigerator is I don't know. I said refrigerator.
Who says refrigerator?
Wings says refrigerator, and people like wings say refrigerator. Let's just leave it at that.
Fair enough. Okay. Fat people, yeah.
No.
Oh. People who like need to save a syllable every once in a while. They're making so many visits and mentioning.
Yeah, I use many word when few words. Let's go to the library. Nah, I can't. My legs hurt. Call the ambulance.
I went to school with a girl who said ambulance, and she never got it right.
Ambulance.
Oh no, she said ambulance.
Oh, so I'm referencing the video where Beard Man fucking KOs that motherfucker over that Stacey Adams spit shine. That's a deep reference I'm laying down for you right now. It's a Stacey Adams spit shining one. How much to shine them Stacey Adams? And dude just kept coming, and like this guy was just waiting, right? Then his shirt said "I'm a motherfucker." He was this muscled up. This is old school internet, so like the Gen Z people might not know this. So go back and grab this of internet old Epic Beard Man. His shirt says "I am a motherfucker," and he beats the shit out of that. A movie about him, and then they made a sequel that's even more ridiculous, where he like
badass.
It's called Badass, and they make it so that he like stops some gang violence on the bus or some shit. But then he's like, you know what? Maybe I'll just make a thing of this, and like starts cleaning up the whole neighborhood or whatever. Yeah, with Danny Trejo,
the guy that he beats up on the bus, like. Remember in the end, and he like beat up guys like sitting there on the bus, and his face is bleeding, but not in a dripping way, in like a constant stream of blood way. And now like all the people who were formerly, were there people on the bus yelling like "kick his ass" like about the guy, like kick that old man's ass, which like get your life together, screaming, encouraging fights on the bus with elderly people. And so it was great to see that piece of shit who was going after an elderly guy get absolutely shit canned. And then the old guy was like, "Yeah, fuck you. I'm Vietnam Tom." Apparently,
that's his name. Do you want my Super Bowl commercial idea, or do you want a question about a thing from movies?
Both.
Super Bowl lead.
All right. So here's what I want. This is the new Snickers commercial. All right. You got Michael Richards. Kanye West. You're not yourself when you're hungry. You're not yourself when you're hungry. And Michael Richards is going to forgive Kanye for all that shit he said. And Kanye is but they're going to become each other. They're going to switch. Like when they eat the
black
Snickers,
and white face.
Yeah. No. They're going to like be there, but Kanye is going to be like, they'll just like switch places. You know, you've seen the commercials. You know, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Michael Richards when he's not having a Snickers, and Michael Richards acts like Kanye when he's not having a Snickers.
Yeah, sure.
That's a very good idea. I like, or even rip it off even further and just have a literally like start it with a Hitler speech where it's like, I do shine us on the side and hold the seed and then like someone walks up and is like, Mein Führer, gives him a Snickers and then he bites it and it's like Kanye snaps out of it. He's like, oh, what was I saying?
No. It's all that.
When you're hungry.
He gives Hitler a Snickers.
A certain candy bar. I'm not allowed to say what kind. It has nougat and peanuts. It's covered in chocolate.
I like
Snickers.
It's a Snickers. It's a Snickers.
It's a Snickers.
The comedic timing of that moment was so funny. Handing Hitler a Snickers.
Yeah.
And he like after his whole speech, and then he takes a bite and he's like, "Oh my God. Is that what I've been doing to people? I'm horrible." And then he shoots himself in the head in the bunker. And it's like, you're not yourself when you're hungry.
That's actually a really good one too. Man, we gotta approach the Mars Corporation.
We got a good one.
Picture this 4K Adolf Hitler. Like, no, I will not.
It's a hologram. But no. You won't even be able to tell the difference. Bring Adolf in.
We found some Argentinian who looks shockingly like him.
Oh no, dude, that would be the best. Like the whole Argentinian thing is funny. Like not funny. It's intriguing.
I don't buy that. I don't think Hitler escaped.
I don't buy it either, but it's intriguing and it's fun to like think, the same way it's fun to think like maybe one of those Gigantopithecus, not to modern day, but maybe lived long enough that our ancestors have myths about them that are based on meeting them. Because like if our like great grandfather, keep adding them M's like that earlier, if he ran into a fucking Bigfoot and they killed them all because they were smart and had spears and shit, but it was hard because they were fucking smart and gigantic. They'd have tales of the giant ape men. And, that Native Americans were like, yeah, we used to talk about the giant ape men, but nobody's seen one for 10,000 years. Those things lived here 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, they were here. They were real. Wait, where have we found like some like a good set of bones of one of those guys?
I think what they do is they go by the teeth and they just like extrapolate from there.
That seems like
if you find like a human molar or like an ape molar that's like you take like an ape's molar and then you take like the Gigantopithecus molar and then you can be like, oh, all right, we'll just do a little math here and we'll figure out how big he was, right?
I don't think so, because I mean like they pulled that shit for years. They just figured out dinosaurs had feathers like 10 years ago. Was there a brand new discovery? Like they had all that other stuff to extrapolate from. And they got it wrong, and now they're big birds. Which I think they should have kept that under wraps. Keep them lizards. Let
me ask you this: when did science figure out dinosaurs? When was the word dinosaur used for the first time? When did humans, for the first time in human history, find a dinosaur bone, a fossil, whatever you want to call it, and say, a dinosaur bone, one of those giant lizards that lived millions of years ago? When do you think that was happened for the first time? It
was the mid to late 1800s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was those two guys in their bone wars where they like were constantly at war trying to come up with better discoveries.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, they would sabotage each other's discoveries, and then a dude would be like, "There's this great discovery," and then he'd reveal it, and the other guy would be like, "Actually, I faked the whole thing, and look how stupid he is for falling for it." And
they thought they were fucking dragons and shit.
I mean, what else are you gonna think? Like, it kind of makes sense. You've heard about dragons throughout like cultures from China to
See, that's the weird thing though. Like
the bones.
Could be.
But it has to be more than it doesn't.
Yeah, but they wouldn't arrive on the same thing. I don't know.
It's weird that all those cultures across the world have dragons. I've seen like some of those creepy YouTube videos with like, why do all of these cultures across the world have depictions of dragons? Bow, 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 bow. And they show you like carvings of dragons real quick, and you're like, oh, dragons are scary. Could it be that dragons of lore live on to modern day? Bow, bow, bow. And it's like fuzzy pictures of like Loch Ness, like a shadow that might be the crook of an umbrella, and then a branch. And you're like, shit, I don't know, maybe. Where would they be? Maybe in the deepest part. And you're like, this is Discovery Channel? No.
It's like the dragons wouldn't live in the sea.
That's a wyvern.
Yes.
That's a wyvern. Is it wyvern or wyvern?
I always thought it was wyvern.
I thought it was wyvern.
Yeah, you guys might be right.
I think
back from
in
even
Canada,
saying the
wyvern.
joke.
In Canada, it's wyvern, and they're only half as big. And there's no partially hydrogenated soybean oil in it.
No chocolate coating on the the wyvern.
On that wyvern. All those bitch-ass Canadian wyverns.
I'm glad they went extinct. No, the only good thing in about Canada, as far as I can tell, other than Harley here, and maple syrup, and your assistance during Operation Desert Storm. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I didn't know. Did you know how many Canadians were there just getting friendly fire and Operation Desert Storm?
No,
we friendly fire.
There's a lot of them. They like most of the casualties and damage that we sustained were either friendly fire or accidents. We lost several Abrams. I read today because there was a fire, and like the soldiers got poisoned because when an Abrams burns, guess what its armor's made out of, Taylor? Because hang on. Oh, you wish.
I don't know.
Oh, you wish. You wish. Worse.
Our brand new fentanyl tank.
Parts of the Abrams, because we needed a tank. Our tank's fucking armor is made out of depleted uranium because it's so dense.
Not depleted enough.
Well, when it burns or when it breaks, it poisons. Gulf War syndrome. Nobody knows exactly what it's because they talk about the burn pits, but there's like 8 other things that happened there. We airstruck the chemical plants, so sarin nerve gas was leaked out, as well as mustard gas. Over 95,000 servicemen were exposed just from that. And then you keep in mind that they were burning the oil wells the whole time, and that's what does that make? Dioxin. So they're all just getting soaked in dioxin all day. You see in that movie Jarhead, Jake Gyllenhaal's covered in the oil, and they're all like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, sip for fire," whatever those people say.
Yeah,
they're
it's like no,
poison.
They're going to get
slowly
cancer.
being poisoned. Yeah. The other thing was they thought they were under constant fear of being hit by chemical weapons because George Bush had really pumped that up. This is OG Desert Storm for the Gen Z guys. This is the first one. This is you lived through part 2 maybe. And so there were reports of like dead goats and livestock, and this stoked the fears among U.S. and Canadian and allied servicemen, we'll call them, that not only was nerve gas going to be used, but it was under current use. Like we're in nerve gas now. It could be drifting onto us now. 5 minutes from now, five minutes ago. We don't know. So they're anti-nerve gas pills. You can take them for like 3 days, and then you have to stop for a day, and then you can start back again. And there's a very specific dose because this isn't like a multivitamin. It's to keep nerve gas from killing you. So, if it has some other side effects, that's okay because nerve gas was the alternative. Yeah. Well, these guys are so afraid. They're taking them constantly, overdosing constantly. And it was a common thing, not just Ted and Jim, the whole unit everywhere where they're like, guys, it's coming. It's coming. Look at the goats. They're all dead when, I don't know, maybe the goats just got shot or didn't get fed for a while or whatever. Meanwhile, they're all like poisoning themselves with that. Nobody knows what causes Gulf War syndrome.
Yeah, well, it's got to be one of those things. Well, probably all those things, right?
I saw that the side effects of overdosing on the anti-nerve agent is pretty much analogous to Gulf War syndrome. So you might nail that down. But then again, there's the burn pits where they were burning all sorts of like nasty, hazardous things. And then the ammunition as well. And those friendly fire incidents, you got to keep in mind if like a Bradley opened up on, I don't know, a Canadian tank or whatever happened, that shit happened occasionally. The ammo that's splattering, it's depleted uranium too. like we spare no expense. We're so far ahead of the whole, defense budget spending thing. We shoot bullets that the other countries can't afford. Like they wouldn't know what to do with them in some situations, right? Like even those things, that rocket artillery that we're giving Ukraine, it's like $75,000 a shot. Each shell, boom, boom, boom. Because they hit within 3 meters of whatever the fuck they want, like 20 kilometers away or something. And it's not just one big boom. Oh, we made a big hole in the ground and killed anything near it. It like air bursts with like tungsten carbide projectiles that are all like shotgun pellets but they're moving so fast, Taylor.
God, that's like mean spirited.
Not like a gun. Like they're moving hyper speeds. So they're cutting through
not
tanks.
Slow like a gun.
No, I mean exactly. We're talking about 1,000 feet per second, maybe 20,000 feet per second. I don't know. Like we're bordering upon turning into pure energy.
Bro, science has gone too far.
God,
I got vaccinated 5 times and I still got COVID.
You know what the last tremendous thing that science did? Okay, well, actually, ZBO, it's gonna be aspartame as a whole. The artificial sweetener aspartame. They've come up with 15 different artificial sweeteners. Cheers! I need to grab.
Even though I'm using a zero, I'm using a zero mod, so it's not aspartame.
Cal?
I think zero means that it's stevia based. Diets are aspartame, and I think zero sodas are stevia.
I didn't even know. I didn't know because I get that
Coke
kind
Zero,
for the Diet Root Beers.
Coke Zero tastes different. Yeah, so I have Diet Root Beer, and I
have that in the fridge right now.
I like the zero sugars, but this is a zero sugar one. I actually like Diet Root Beer better than zero sugar A and W. They are different, but I like Coke Zero better than Diet Coke these days.
I did not know that about the stevia thing, but I guess it makes sense why
you're a Pepsi guy, right?
I like Diet Pepsi, yeah.
I did the Pepsi challenge on this other podcast, Binge Eater podcast, my podcast. You guys should come on sometime, please.
Happy to.
And I did the Pepsi challenge. Have you ever done that?
I've never tried it.
Don't you think you would do it?
Yeah, because Pepsi has more flavors of citrus.
Yeah, I lost. The Pepsi challenge is just supposed to be like, I drank 2 unlabeled sodas, a Coke and a Pepsi, and I guessed them wrong. And I thought never in a million years would I guess those 2 wrong.
Were they in a cup?
They were both in a glass.
I'd want to be blindfolded, and I would have to open the can. I need to taste.
No, because you're like, I feel like you pick up the can, you're like, this is a Pepsi.
Okay, well then they can.
You're like, that's a Pepsi.
I have to hear them. They can go like that for me, but it has to be freshly opened. I could tell. I know I could win the Pepsi and the Coke challenge.
I was just humbled. I was humbled by it, by the whole experience.
I don't really buy Coke.
Whoa, a vanilla Coke Zero.
A new challenger arises.
Does the back of that say that it has stevia or aspartame? For the zero. Is that a zero? I thought they were all aspartame.
Aspartame.
The good one, yeah.
I'm a liar.
Not on purpose, though. Doesn't
it also contains phenylalanine.
Yeah, that always is there. It's
probably
like
a preservative or something.
Phenylalanine, and it's like the fact you're telling me that on every can of soda I drink, and I drink fucking 9 of these a day, 10 of these a day, like that can't be a good amount of phenylalanine to be eating, right? They don't recommend replacing all of your liquid with this. Aside from
this is all
2
I
of these
drink.
of water a day, protein.
That's a lie. So anybody, how would I know? Are your people more hungry because you live on the mountain? No, we are hungry because we work hard. Like, I don't know why I get, you know what I mean? I'll say this. It's all I drink. It's all I've been drinking for years. If you see me with a water bottle, it's not even water most of the time. It's unsweet tea. Like I'm drinking just like I would go to, I still do. I go to Publix and they have a gallon of unsweet tea for like $1 or something. And I just fill that fucking, thermos up with it and put some artificial sweetener in like a half a lemon. And I go through so many of those a day, but I drink at least a 12-pack of this a day. Every single day. This and coffee is all I drink. And no, never had a kidney stone. And I've been drinking soda like that my entire life. I've never really drank sugar soda, but like in my household, it's probably the most white trash thing about us. We drank nothing but Diet Pepsi. We didn't have well water.
My mom's house too.
I mean, I get bloody peas like on Thursdays, but I thought that was just because of all the coffee and it's just like you get that sleep, in the corner of your eyes. We all get that from our penises, of course, too, all day, every day. So just a float. What if I was just peeing like grains of rice my entire life and I just thought that was normal? So yeah, look, I'm not recommending the fucking Coke Zero lifestyle per se, but it's all I drink. And anybody who said either I have some special ability to not get kidney stones, which seems silly, or soda has nothing to do with kidney stones. You're going to get them if you're genetically predisposed to them. The same way you're going to go bald or you're going to get fat, probably. Like some people, like calories in, calories out. But sometimes you can look at a lady's mother and figure out, sometimes you can, the writing's on the wall, genetically speaking, as far as some things go. Not always, and you can will your way out of anything. Who's the super athlete, the endurance athlete? Goggins, maybe?
You think he's the super athlete? I always thought of him as the mentally ill person.
Thank you. Sure. He kind of is. You see his feet? Have you seen his feet? Exactly. Pull up. You can probably show the video. It's like his social media. You know what I mean? Like
they're all. It's like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I run in the rain, and if it's snowing, even better.
He's like, some of y'all was freaking out. Because you saw my feet on my wife's TikTok. Making fun of David's feet. Your feet don't look like this, huh? These man's feet. These man's like or whatever, like way of defending the fact that he only has 3 toenails to his name or whatever.
Those toenails are not right.
Look at those. All right, so you've probably gotten that.
I love how you didn't like the tongue, but this you're like, zoom in, enhance that image.
Well, so here's what's interesting to me. I like kind of analyzing this and sort of deducing what's caused this to happen. And I think it's clear, like we've probably all gotten that blister on the inside of our big toe there when we've been like hiking too much or run. Like that is a wear spot. Like you put weight there when you're trying to keep it off the other side too. And like you can see he's just built up armor there. And like on his other toe, he's like, yeah, the toenail fell off and it won't even go back anymore because I'm harder that way. And the other toenail's like, you know what? My toe's so fucking hard that I'm hanging in there because I'm harder than my fucking toe is. Your toe's the bitch toe. And I'm turning black. That's how hard I am. Like, can I interject? I think what it is, I know he's had several Zach says he hasn't grown toenails, but that's a product of what he does to them and poor maintenance. You can get those taken care of. You go to a pedicure person, but a manicurist. He has ran on broken feet before and just bound them tightly. And so they've healed in funny ways from breaks and not just the standard breaks that we probably all 3 of us have a broken toe. We just don't realize it. Because when you break a toe, if you've ever stubbed your toe going around a corner, your pinky, and it hurts so goddamn bad, you almost teared up as a grown man, you probably just broke your toe and it's going to heal up and it'll be all right. I've broken my toes. Nothing you can do for a broken toe. You just like put splints on it.
He like pulverized his by dropping a bowling ball though. I feel like that's different than like hitting. I've stubbed my toe. I must have broke the same toe like 3 times in 1 week before even.
Yeah, that guy's had but you can see he's had broken feet and he's bound them up and then ran 50 miles on them or something. Oh, he has like the base of it a little bit. Yeah. The black one has for sure. The black part is, but I thought the others, like that blackness is toenail. That's like dead blood under there. Like you think that smooth pink thing in the front is toenail? That's what the tip of his toe just looks like now.
No, I think that's where a nail used to be.
Now scroll down. Thank you. Oh, look at that CSI style, baby. That ain't nail. Now rub your cursor where we're talking about, Zach. It's on that pink part on the no. Lower. That's the culprit. That is not nail. That's just a polished nub on the front of his toe.
Oh,
yeah.
You don't think that was the old nail location? Like that skin still exists?
No,
and it's
that's
ripped and still.
The nail ends before then. That's a man there. He's done some crazy shit. He had for a while, he had the chin up contest, world record, or maybe pull up, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but he had one of them. And then that kid beat him. All of those crazy running feats that and then he was a Navy SEAL and he used to be morbidly obese. Like there's so many wild things about that dude.
Because he was fat and he went to the Navy SEALs and they turned him away for not passing the physical. So he like went crazy over it and was like, how did I fail the physical? And
you know what he'd say? I'm not running from anything. It's running from me. And I gotta go. He's answered that. He wants to make a planet species. The man's married and he's like social media influencer type star. I'm sure he's making tons of money by staying relevant by physical feeding his way through the world. He's demonstrating his exceptionalism to inspire those who need it.
Yeah, you have to see that.
You're sick, and David's cure. Let me give you a little tip, Woody's gamer tag. Start running, because David's coming. If you saw him on social media, and he was just like, "I'm coming for you right now. I'll give you a little head start. Let you know I'm coming from Connecticut. I'm coming. And he meant it. He was like, I'm heading your way right now with what I got on. He starts running. He's on live stream, and you know he means it. And it's funny at first, but the next day he's in like Delaware or whatever's below Connecticut, and he's like, and you're counting the Eastern Seaboard if you can.
Would you live the rest of your life? You get $10 million, but wherever David Goggins is right now, he's starting to run to you, and if he touches you, you and your family die. But he can only run. He can only run. The ocean, the other side of the ocean, he's going to run from the ocean. He's in the ocean floor. Yeah, I know he has that ability.
Can I take
swim there?
He was a Navy SEAL. Of course he can go under the ocean.
See,
no,
land, no air though.
You
Harley,
think the Atlantic Ocean could stop David fucking...
Is he what?
Is he tagged? Like, do you know where he is?
No, you don't know where he is. That's the thing. He's starting right now. You don't know where he is. No, you're going to assume that he's not in Australia, probably strategically. Go to Australia and like literally wait like a month and a half and hope that he's not that fast.
How motivated is he?
I got this one. I got this one.
The most motivated he's ever been in his life.
Will he kick my door down?
How much money? Okay, will he need to stop and rest and eat and such, or is it essentially a kill bot with the foot speed of David Goggins?
It's David Goggins. It's David Goggins.
The mortal man.
No,
it's the man, David Goggins.
Yeah, but he's in killbot mode, so like he doesn't really need to eat that much or drink that much.
Yeah, know how much he sleeps.
Well, that's the thing.
Less than you.
We don't even know how much he sleeps right now. Yeah, less than you.
Yeah, less than all of us.
Same as he does now.
David Goggins
hates takes those little naps.
He hates it. Nothing pisses David Goggins off like a nap. I could be running.
He can look like anyone. That's too crazy.
On.
I'm joking about that part.
All right. So here's how you beat David Goggins. All right.
Now he's just a thing. It's just would you survive the thing? The answer is no.
So here's how you beat scary, infinite running David Goggins, who sleeps 3 hours a day and never stops.
That's just get David Goggins, yeah.
Essentially David Goggins, but aquatic David Goggins. He with gills. He's Kevin Costner from Waterworld, but David Goggins. He has the boat, and he's coming. Okay, I think that cool is a trimaran. It's badass. Watch that Waterworld. I think that you need to get somewhere where you can see for like miles. Like you need to be able to see for like the horizon, and you got to stake out there and wait until David Goggins gets there. You want to pick somewhere Central America, like wherever you think he is. You want to get as close to that as possible.
What is he allergic to?
It doesn't matter most of that because what you've got to nail down is where David Goggins. We got to find him, and once we see him coming, we can be like, "Oh shit, he's here." Obviously, we can get in the car now and drive to the airport.
That's dangerous, bro. He has eyes on you. That's dangerous.
We got to be on a tower with fucking lookouts. We got a team, right? We got thermal imaging. We got to be serious about this. Maybe we're in the middle of a lake.
It's true. You can hide. You have $10 million. You can start loaning from your 10 million.
Yeah, you hire 5 guys, 24 hours a day. Like they got you. They'll spot him coming a mile away. If you pick the right spot, go to the Salt Flats, right? Something like that. And so now we got him nailed down. So now we just go to the airport, fly to fucking Europe, and we got a timer, right? We can do the math. Oh, we don't know how much he sleeps. All right, well, let's just assume 0 sleep. Multiply David Goggins' speed by the distance. Do the little math. We're like, all right.
You're going like intellectual, like you're on the helicopter, like hovering over him while he's chasing the helicopter. And you're timing his steps to see how long it would take him to get to Australia. Should you go?
Well, I know that his top speed is no more than 22 miles per hour. If he's sprinting it at like Olympic sprinter speeds, he's around 25 or something.
If he's in sprinting distance, you're fucked. Like you have to get out of
calculating how much time we have if we go to Amsterdam and have.
If he sees you, he's gonna turn on some juice here. I feel like that's very scary.
Oh, if he gets like, if you're on pavement and you turn around and and you're just both on pavement and he's half a mile behind you and he uses his Navy SEAL eyes to discern it's you from the shadows.
Here's one.
He's gonna catch you.
Would you take the $10 million, but Elon Musk now wants to ruin your life?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. He'd have you killed.
But that's like
he will not break a single law. He will not break a single law.
That's not ruining my life if he kills me. That's like releasing me from my life.
He won't break a single law.
And now you can haunt him.
Yeah. No, I would do that. I think he would make
If
me
you can't
look
kill me,
good.
then yes, I'll do it.
Here's what he would do. What you get your $10 million, right? Name me where are you gonna live after that? Tell me.
My house, my mom's house.
Okay.
Next door to Elon
Guess-
Musk. Keep your enemies close.
Guess what? Your neighbors they're all your neighbors' houses. Guess who owns them now? Elon Musk owns your
Me.
whole neighborhood now. You know what the new homeowners association rules are like here?
A lot of sirens all the
You
time.
know what
like
happens? After three actions of the homeowners association, we can foreclose on your home if you're a member of the homeowners association.
that. Punishment
Now
by
he's taking-
caning.
Elon Musk will have your mom's house in a fortnight, right?
He wouldn't.
Yeah.
He'll have every house around it, but not my mom.
No, I just laid out how he takes your house.
that's not
Absolutely
that's not
plausible. You can
I'm-
absolutely do it. Yep. Right.
It doesn't matter. It's not how it works, bud.
Dude, all he
Not
has to
how it
do,
works.
he just
No,
needs
it
to
doesn't.
hire a David Goggins level SEAL to
he would
sneak into
have
your
to.
house and put child
crimes.
pornography on your computer.
No
Crimes.
crime.
Yeah, he would have
He's
to.
not
he would have
committing
to
the crime.
change,
David Goggins. is.
He would have to
That's
change
a crime.
all the
That's
rules here.
conspiracy to child pornograph somebody.
He has to change all the rules. He has to change all the rules. And I'll tell you, my mom is not only going to not break any of the homeowners association rules. The mailbox would never be out of compliance. My mom is not like me at all. She'll keep her shit in order.
She's a good-
And
sounds like a good
I
lady.
actually think that
you get
creates
where I'm
more.
coming from.
You gave an example that would create more problems for Elon Musk. He has to sit
No.
down at homeowners board meetings.
He doesn't do any
with
of
my
this.
mom.
No, he doesn't.
No,
he
Kyle's
hires a
on
guy.
point with this one.
What Elon Musk does is
That's what
he
he did.
hires a
You think
very
he's got?
motivated.
You think he's got money
he
to
hires-
spend on things like this, right?
Yes, I absolutely do. He's
No, I don't
still
think
like
he
the
does.
third richest man on the planet.
No,
So-
I don't. I don't
he
think he's
hires-
quite. I don't think he's rich like Jeff Bezos is rich. By the way, like not even on the same level. This is you are comparing like an extremely liquid man with a guy who is not quite as liquid as you would think.
I agree with you in that, like, owning Amazon is only a retard
How
would be like,
expensive-
you can have Tesla or Amazon and be
Let
the
me ask
owner.
you
Which
this.
one do you want? Like, no one would pick Tesla.
But here's the important question: how much money will it require for Elon to begin ruining your life? Do you think? Just guess.
How much is he going to have to give?
How
you
much will he?
to
How
ruin
muin
my
how much liquid money will he need to pull
If you're
together
smart-
for his
if you're
ruin
smart-
Harley fund?
If you're smart, like $1,000. If you're
Yeah.
smart, I'm
So
sure.
that's
someone,
what I'm saying. No.
Well, I'm just
stick with
saying,
me
I'm
here.
sure if you're clever enough for $1,000 bucks, you
Elon
might
Musk-
be able to do some moves. I'm just
No.
saying, Elon Musk, the reason why he's a bad choice, as opposed to if you chose someone else who
Like
has a
Bezos?
lot of money but is not Elon Musk, Elon Musk will be benefiting you quite a bit if you are his number one target.
He's
you
not
make
going to
it-
promote you. He knows better than that. He's not.
Oh
gonna-
wait, so people will think I'm crazy. Or I'm like, it's Elon Musk is fucking
Yeah.
my life.
Oh,
up.
he would actually start
And then he's
gang
calling my
stalking
phone,
you.
He's like, it is me, bitch.
Yeah, he's not
gang
going to come
stalking you.
out and twiddle his mustache. And
No.
again, he doesn't.
Okay, I thought he was like, I thought everyone was aware that Elon
No,
Musk hates
no,
me.
you're
just
not
you.
on Twitter.
Oh,
He's not.
He
okay.
comes to you mano a mano and he goes, "Hey, big boy."
That's different. I was
No
like
matter
thinking
what
of
it
how I
takes.
could benefit. I was thinking of how I could
No.
benefit from being his nemesis.
No.
But now I his nemesis. But
He's
now I
not gonna-
understand. Okay, no, I
he's
might
not
be
gonna-
I might be changing my answer then.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna, and he doesn't need to be liquid to ruin you. His fund could be $3 million. Do you know what you can do with $3 million? You can hire a
Yeah.
small art. You can
You're
invade a fucking country with $3 million.
Yeah,
Fuck,
Not successfully.
you could just hack. You could just pay a hacker to
It'd have
like
to be a
get
really
all my
crappy
soft
country.
cock pictures on my phone.
You have soft peak pictures of your penis.
Long story, but yeah. What? What did you say?
Just get hard ones.
Okay.
Just do that. Why?
Yeah,
Don't
I
keep
would
those
rather
time
see-
bombs where you have to go.
I was
no,
trying to
that's
look at something on
classic."
the underside. But
I
yeah,
would rather.
is
Here's the
that-
thing: Elon Musk is so powerful. I would rather literally have a gypsy curse than have him motivated to destroy me. Because I mean motivated in a petty
You haven't
kind
seen
of
Drag
way.
Me to Hell though.
I have seen Drag Me
I
to
have
Hell.
seen
Isn't
Now,
that, didn't that fucking
if it's
suck
my
as a
ever-
gypsy curse?
if it's my everlasting
You ever seen
soul
Thinner?
that's at stake,
That's a
I
curse that
actually
would be
wanted that at one point.
awesome for the
I
first 6
wanted that at
weeks.
one point. I was like, I'll beat
Yeah.
the curse. I'll be there eating before the curse can get me.
that's such a shitty movie.
It was much better
It's
in my
like in
mind as a
the
kid.
yeah.
It always is when
Not
you
a
think
good-
back to it, and then it's kind of like Apocalypse Now, but then you get through the first half, and you're like, oh shit, there's 52 more minutes. Oh no,
I've never
the
seen
good stuff's
Apocalypse.
already over.
I had
the first half at Camp Lejeune or wherever the fuck Marines go is good. Camp Charlottesville, whatever y'all do. But then they go to Vietnam, and it's like, oh shit, it's Stanley Kubrick's Vietnam, which is like depressing. Even when they win the big battle at the end and they get the sniper's a teenage girl who's like fighting for her homeland, right? She's a little girl dying and like coughing up blood in her last moments. And they're like, oh yeah, we got her, the one that killed Big Bob and Little Mike or whatever. And it's like, yeah, it was just a little girl like hiding.
Yeah, it was just someone with a rifle trying to fight back.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucked up. Have you? It reminds me of that movie. What you're saying reminds me of it because I haven't seen Apocalypse Now. Full Metal Jacket.
No, not that's what I'm saying.
You're saying Full Metal Jacket. It sounded so much like it.
And I was wrong. I was
okay. So I have seen Full Metal Jacket, and there is no movie that in the first half I'm like when they're at boot camp and everything, I'm so invested, I'm so in, I'm rocking and rolling. It's awesome. The second they go to Vietnam, that movie turns into a dog turd. It's boring
turn it off.
Shit. I remember watching that movie the first time and like getting
fast
like 3/4 of the way through and being like, what happened? We were rolling, and now we're doing nothing in Vietnam, and it sucks, and I don't care. They set the anchor point of what were going to be the concerns early, and then they dilly-dallied on that too long, and it made it so I was no longer invested in the other plot points that I was supposed to be invested in by that point in the film.
And look, I've watched some YouTube videos about what Stanley Kubrick was going for there, and all the symbolism that's present.
I'm going to make a shitty movie in this.
But what I wanted, especially when I was younger, when I got there, I was like, all right. Fucking Joker and the boys are like, I don't remember the what they said, but they're like fire hardened and battle ready or whatever the fuck they said, like man born again or whatever they said. And it's like, fuck yeah, we're gonna go to Vietnam and fuck some nips up and get some goop blood on us or whatever they were gonna do. And they get there and it's like
all the Asian words.
Yeah, all of them, nips and zips, and they get over there, and it's like, man, there's no glory to be found here. It's just like gruesome, and like I remember right away the one guy's like posing with the dead Viet Cong, and it's like, oh, so off-putting, and like there's no glory to be had. Even the guy, there's the guy shooting the civilians out the side.
Which one is this we're talking about now? Where are we going?
It's a Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what we've been talking about the whole
You're
time.
talking about the second half before. The trash.
Yeah, the second half in Vietnam. He's shooting the M60 out the window, and it's women and children in like the rice paddy fields, just farming. And the guy and he's like, get some. And the guy's like, you kill women and children? How can you kill? He goes, sometimes. How can you shoot women and children? They're yelling because they're in a chop.
Yeah.
He's like, it's easy. You just don't lead them so much. Fuck. And that's like his introduction to. He's like flying in, right? Yeah. Like to the shit, and it's just like one depressing thing after another. Stanley Kubrick wants to completely deflate any idea you had that Vietnam was some heroic cowboy riding in to serve some justice up to the bad guys. It's like, no, war's
he's
hell.
Like Fortunate Son wasn't even played once. Not
yeah.
once.
Yeah,
what
that's a real downer. Apocalypse Now, on the other hand.
Yes, is that worth watching? I have not seen it.
Apocalypse Now is what's funny about Apocalypse Now as a movie is like that's a movie where they got Marlon Brando to be in it, to be like the main bad guy, and he was like, okay, but I'm not wearing pants the whole time. And they're like, okay, we'll shoot him from the waist up. And he's like, yeah. And you can't light me. And they're like, what? He's like, I have to be in the dark.
What?
Yeah. And he
so he's always sitting?
Yeah, he's not lit up. He's in the dark.
So
is the pants thing like an old tale, or is that?
And he was like really bad at knowing his lines in other movies. So like in Godfather and stuff, he like looks around as he talks, but everywhere he's looking, there's copies of his lines pasted behind the camera. So he's actually looking at his lines because he's bad at remembering them.
Oh, that's true. A little addendum though on the on Apocalypse Now. The reason that he's in the shadows and dark.
Oh yeah,
his face. Taylor, the man showed up 50 or 60 pounds overweight.
I think it was more egregious. I think it was like over 100. I think it was like 100, 150. They wanted it was supposed to be this handsome young actor, and he was like the biggest, fattest monster.
So his character. So here's the premise of Apocalypse Now. It's a really good premise. Martin Sheen is a lieutenant or something like that, and he's been in Nam for a while. He's been the shit. He's battle hardened, and his superiors are call him into a meeting, and the meeting has a lot of like A-list actors later on.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. This is stacked. Lawrence,
This is a great movie. You're actually lucky. I'm going to rewatch this movie.
And they tell him in this meeting, like this top secret meeting, we want you to go into the shit. This colonel, he's one off the reservation. He's over in Cambodia. He's working with some kind of crazy stuff. He's not obeying orders. He's killing this. He's killing that. He's not listening to reason. And he's like, so you want me to go in and get him, bring him back to you, bring him to the real world, something like that? He's like, no, we want him gone, eliminated. They want him to kill him. They're sending him on a seek and destroy mission against their own colonel. And so he has to go on this Lord of the Rings-esque journey, sort of like, because he's like off the grid, right? He's not regular army. He's not anything. He's a man being sent by the CIA and maybe the Marine Corps to go take out a colonel. So he's like, sometimes he's with like those guys on the boats, you know, that do the river patrol. And then he's in they're like one of those shows where the Playboy bunnies came and like put on a show for the soldiers. And like, he's making his way through country to get to the colonel. And the colonel, again, is supposed to have been off the reservation, badass colonel. Now he's got like his own Cambodian hit squad, and he's been living in the jungle on fucking rice, beans, and fucking hate for the Communist Party. And you get there, and my man has put on some mask. They light him.
The bad kind, right?
They light him with flickering candlelight, and he's sweating profusely. So much so that they must have been dousing him with water, or it's the sweat of a very morbidly obese man in actual Cambodia, I think, or Vietnam, wherever the fuck they went.
Yeah, so it's humid as shit. It's Southeast Asia.
It's pouring off of him when he delivers his lines, but it's still, he's such a good fucking actor. He kills. I remember the horror. It's so good.
You know what he used to do also?
It's like 3 hours long.
He used to show up on set.
There's 3 different versions.
He would show up on set, and his first take, he would purposefully not act that well. And if the director was like, okay, and they were too intimidated to tell him what the fuck, he gave that level of shitty acting the rest of the movie. But the first day, if he did his take and you were like, what? No, you're going to have to do better than that. He would be like, a real director. I'm going to work for you. And then 120%.
Marlon Brando.
Y'all ever seen The Island of Dr. Moreau?
I was just going to link a picture of him.
All right.
I've seen a Simpsons episode
Have any of you ever read?
I love that we went down this hole together. I wonder if we were going down this hole at the exact same time, you and I, wherever we were in the world.
No. I watched that movie. I watched The Island of Dr. Moreau on HBO or Showtime when I was a kid, like 13, 14, 15, somewhere in there.
No, I just meant all these facts about him and these fucked up stories. Yeah.
I just like memorizing like
this is not highly rated.
No, that's the actor they probably got. So that's what they got when they wanted Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Like that's what they got, when realistically they probably like were expecting to get something closer to this guy.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's all white like this. I think it's sunscreen. I know it is. It's sunscreen. So look how huge he is. I've read the novel after I watched the movie, but essentially it's a doctor who's making like half animal, half human hybrids on an island. In the novel, he's using like surgical techniques to like modify an animal to become like a human-like beast, like to be able to like stand upright and speak and stuff. In here, it's more genetic splicing, I believe, and some of the animal hybrids are very ugly. They're like dog face people, and he's like trying to break them of their animalistic ways by punishing them, like beating them and shocking them, and they're all afraid. And they all have they have almost like a cult like religion about the master says, and like, but then there's this other group who are like, especially there's this one girl, I can't think of the actress who plays her, but she's smoking fucking hot, but she's got like sharp teeth or something, and that's it. She's like the cat girl, and it's like, shit, this is a way better way to make animal human hybrids. Like make more cat girls and less dog boys.
Make more cat girls, less dog boys.
And but the premise is this guy shipwrecks onto this island, right? And and they don't know what to do with them because all this is like top secret rich guy island secret shit. And so they're like, you'll stay with us. You'll come on with us. We'll take care of you. You know, your meals will be, and it's, the novel is very scary because wandering the island at night with the animal human hybrids, and he catches one of them eating a rabbit. He's killed a rabbit and he's eating it and that's like one. There's like 10. There's this whole like 10 commandments of the master thing about like, thou shalt not runneth on 4 feet like the animal. Thou shalt not like shed the blood of another animal or consume it's shit like that. And like the master, he goes back and rats him out. He's like, yeah, I saw fucking dog boy like eating a rabbit, or I thought I did. I don't know what color dog boy. It's like, and now the dog boy's got to be fucking disciplined. And it's
now
like,
that's pretty cruel.
And he's like, wait, there are dog boys for real? What color dog boy?
He had a spot on his nose. Alan.
He was blue.
You son of a bitch, Alan, eating rabbits in the forest when I specifically told you not to.
Yeah. They have names like that. It's like Timothy.
What a douchebag. He made a bunch of like morphing like freaks who are based on animals, who eat animals in the forest, and then he put them on like, you can't eat forest critters.
Yeah, they're and
I hope Marlon Brando's killed at the end by his own creations.
Brutally. Yeah, I think
that
he's
seems like
by
the natural bit of it. Thank you for saying that. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, no, I've seen it multiple times.
You're better off watching Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando and the director's relationship on set that entire time. Apparently it was like Val Kilmer's nightmare role, and he like hated it, but everyone on set had bad takes on him. And it was just like, it's like pretty, there's a lot of drama on that. Because also he came in Marlon Brando and he was like, I should have a little person with me, a little man. And he's like, and I should wear this. Yeah. And he started like making calls. Yeah. Like about who's with, and like changing the story. And everyone's like, okay, let him do it. Because the director also was like, this was like his second movie and they gave him like a huge budget. And there was like it was just like a lot of stuff about it. And he couldn't control Marlon Brando or Val Kilmer.
Do you like Val Kilmer? Like as an actor?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy
Batman Forever?
Tombstone. But have you ever seen this little remember Jim? Also with Martin Sheen, The Ghost in the Darkness.
No.
Is that a book?
Right. No, not me.
I don't know that. The Ghost in the Darkness is the true story of the lions of Tsavo, Africa. Tsavo means slaughter in Swahili or whatever made up savage tongue they speak around there. And what the British were doing at this time is colonizing their chunk of the continent. And they needed specifically for their railroad a bridge built over a canyon, river, whatever the fuck. And so they hire the first lieutenant, played by Val Kilmer. He shows up very like dapper, and he's Val Kilmer. He's so good looking. He shows up and he's like, the guy tells him, your job is to go here and build this fucking bridge, and this savage piece of shit. He's the guy's super racist who's sending him there. And Val Kilmer is like, I love Africa. I've always wanted to go. Yes, well, you'll find Africa is very full of one thing. Africans. and so he sends him there to do his nonsense. Well, he gets there, and the workforce to do this thing is made up of a lot of Indians, like from India, and a lot of native Africans. They are beset upon by a lion. Not as one lion, but 2 lions. This is a true story, by the way. Yeah. These lions are coming into the camps at night. You got to keep in mind, these railroad bridge workers, they sleep in camps, in tent camps, if you will, in the open. And these lions...
I know this scene that you're talking about now. Wow, I've only seen this scene, I think.
The lions
only thing that I remember.
Lions will just snatch them up in the night and take them off. Oh, we lost a man tonight. We lost a man tonight.
But did they show a scene where a lion's grabbing a guy, like, and you see the guy like, and he's like getting pulled under
through the thorns.
Yeah,
through the thorns, and you see his flesh and skin be torn by the thorns, because the part of like the location is these thorn bushes of Africa that they use. They use them later. They weave them into these huge thorn fences so to prevent the lions from coming to places. So essentially, what happens is Val Kilmer is over his head. He's tried traps. He's tried to hunt them. He can't figure it out. He's losing so many men that workers go on strike. They've lost dozens of men at this point. And so the company, the railroad company, bring in a professional hunter called Remington, played by Martin Sheen, and he comes in all big game hunter with his crocodile Dundee hat and his Magnum fucking rifles, and him and Val Kilmer team up fucking double ninja style, fucking twin cobra style, and they take on the two lions, the two man killers of Savo. And in the British Museum of Natural History, they have those two lions to this day. So a little bit of a spoiler about how maybe the movie may or not end, but they still have them stuffed. They are not cool to look at. And the idea was that these were two adult lions who were cast out of their pride. They weren't like alpha males. They were two beta males. He got kicked out by a big, alpha male. And now they had to live like as a duo without any bitches. And this made them real bitter. And they developed a hunger for human flesh. And I don't know what the number is.
And they were played by actors Bongo and Caesar. The same actors that were in George of the Jungle in 1997. These lions know how to motherfucking act.
Yeah. Yep. It's a good movie. I watched it many times as a kid. I think
I might check that one out. I don't think I've seen that one actually. Even the scene I'm remembering, I don't know if it's in that movie, but I'm gonna have to check that out. Like that was a dad joke. It's such a dad joke. I'm like, he is pushing 50.
Pushing
the Lions
50,
were African,
which could be anything. So, Woody, you're going to be the opposite, where you're going to want because you take such good care of yourself that when you're like 62, it's going to be the opposite. You'll be one of those people who are like, "How old?" And they'll be like, 51, and you'll be like, "No, 62." Like push, and then you can like lie in the other way and be like, 91, 91 years old. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Kyle, because I was about to start this show last night because I was looking for something on HBO because I just rebought HBO to watch The Last of Us, which we can get to in a sec because I thought that was super good. And I was looking through the sci-fi section on there to see what series they had. Yes. Babylon 5. Is that a good series? Is it stupid? Is it because I scrolled past it and it was like a deep space opera that's dramatic, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of enticing to me. So maybe try it.
So I don't want to offend the one Babylon 5 fan out there.
Oh, it's bad.
No. I think it's excellent, but it's outdated because of what it's shot on and because of some of the special effects. And it was really good for its time. And I'll tell you how it's best enjoyed. It's best enjoyed through YouTube snippets of a couple of the more conniving characters being devious to one another. Like there's a lot of Game of Thrones-esque. There's scenes in Game of Thrones where like Viserys and Littlefinger would be in some fucking boardroom like trading barbs.
Yeah, I love
There's some great scenes like that in there. Like but then like I don't know, there's some spaceship policing and then they show the exterior of the ship and it's like, man, I can't watch this show. I'm sorry, it doesn't look good enough anymore. But again, there are some YouTube clips of like one. I don't know the characters' names, but there's this one guy who has this ridiculous. He's an alien. He has this silly haircut with like two different stripes of hair on either side of his head that go like from front to back, and he's like telling this guy you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that and you're gonna do this, and he's like, why would I do any of that? He's like, well, for one thing, that thing you just drank, well, that's a bomb. There's a tiny bomb in that drink you just drank, and anytime I want, I can detonate. It's the size of 8 molecules, or whatever he says. I can blow you up anytime. And you know what the best part? If you ever try to take it out, I get a notification, and then I'll kill you then. And it's something like that. And I just remember, like the way he delivered it, like so maniacally. I was like, oh man, this could be a good show.
Yeah, you should watch Battlestar.
Can't do it. Battlestar Galactica is the show. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to drink 40 ounces of coffee, and then you're going to be looking for your little valuable piece of equipment in the toilet.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thumbs up as a good series with great writing and an amazing story, and it's groundbreaking in many ways. Yeah, for sure. But it's a thumbs down as far as should you watch
Battlestar Galactica, you say?
10 on 10.
That's 10 out of 10, especially like the first couple of 3
Even
seasons.
better than Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica is going to end. It's going to give you a conclusion, which you would never get from the Star Trek universe.
It was okay.
I vibe with Woody on that. I was kind of like, I am an idiot.
Oh, you like the whole full circle thing? Like that I'm fine with. I just thought, without getting too spoily about Battlestar Galactica, there was a point where it was like, is everyone a Cylon? Like, who isn't? Who here's a still a Show me the real humans. Because for a while it was like, oh,
Have you ever played that
there's
board
one
game?
of them amongst us.
The Battlestar
and then by the end,
Galactica?
it's like, no, of course not.
So the Battlestar Galactica board game is so sick because everyone you
I
choose
bet it
your
is.
character, whoever you want to be, and then everyone gets a card that says you're not a Cylon. But someone will get a card, most likely at least one person will get a card that says you are a Cylon. If you're the character Gaius, who you want to play as, there are some pros and cons for every character. Gaius gets 2 shots at maybe being a Cylon. So whoever's playing Gaius, you're like, they're probably a Cylon. He has 2 fucking cards, which it goes well with the show.
And if he's really not one, then it really is great for the actual 2 Cylons.
And what's really crazy is you start to like politic with one another, and you're like, I should be the president for whatever reason, or someone will be like, I should be leading the military for whatever reason. And you vote who is the most trustworthy. And sometimes the most trustworthy person has proven themselves by doing these missions. And you're like, he's definitely not a Cylon. So you vote him as president. Maybe you vote him as head of military too. And then halfway through the point, there's a certain moment where Cylon cards are given out again. So now you find out that you are a Cylon and you have been the whole time, like the show, and maybe you were the president or someone, and you're like, and you start looking at each other.
This seems like fun.
Do you know the lore of Battlestar Galactica? Because I can lay it out in like 8
I
seconds.
know. Pretend I don't know a thing. I know nothing.
You've got a spacefaring human society that's colonized many worlds of a single star system, and they can bounce around between them. They have these war vessels called Battlestars that are kind of outclassed. They're essentially space aircraft carriers, and they were the real hammer of like human might during the Cylon Wars, which is when they fought their robot slaves that went rogue, which for the longest time were like walking toasters. They even call them as such. And every 10 years since the war, they maybe every year, maybe like a human rep shows up in case the Cylons want to talk at a designated location, and they wait on them to show up and talk. It hasn't happened for 180 years, 90 years. We haven't even seen them since the war and the peace was declared. All of a sudden, the human shows up. He's some military bureaucrat sitting there at the table, waiting on nobody to show up like they have every other day of his career. And a spaceship docks. And he's like, wait, what? What? And they dock, and the doors slide open. And in walk these 2 imposing warrior bots. They do the best they can. And then walks the sexiest blonde woman you've ever seen in a red fucking dress, maybe. She will be later on if she's not already wearing it. And she walks up to this motherfucker and grabs his cheek and kisses him. And then you zoom out to the whole fucking spaceship exploding. All of it explodes, and the war has begun. And the Cylons are back, and they look like us, but nobody knows that. And they've been, a version of her has interworked into the humans' entire defense network. So there's a judgment day that comes, sort of where 95% of all of humanity, at least, is just killed. Nuclear war, it rains down. Our own weapons used against us in some cases, and everything is gone. And the only humans left, for the most part, are running and gunning on military vessels and civilian vessels that have formed a fleet. But the Cylons aren't just starting a war. They're exterminating humanity. In their machine minds, they decided they all have to go. That's the only way. So they're continuously chasing the human fleet. And the way their faster than light travel works, it's these jumps. They have to do their math and then instantly sort of appear a few light years away, whatever it is. Every time they jump, they start a clock. This is episode 3. You can see nobody has slept in days. Everybody, circles under their eyes. The clock has begun. It's ticking down. Every 25 minutes, they have to jump again because the Cylons are jumping right behind them. And every time they can only jump so fast. That's the problem. They got to recharge and go again. And the Cylons are catching up on them. Every time every time they reset and jump again, the Cylons have caught them and been fighting them a little bit longer, a couple seconds longer. They shoot their missiles off, and the missiles are coming for them, and they jump. That's how close they are behind them. It's the remnants of humanity running, and they're trying to establish a government between the civilians and the military. It's a very like,
and
weird,
they're pointing at everyone on the ship being like, you're a fucking Cylon, or someone does something weird and they're like, why are you lying? Are you a Cylon? And like, everyone's like, bro, this guy's like, I literally would call whenever a friend fucked up the night or did something like drop the joint, we'd all be like, you fucking Cylon, we should throw you in the airlock.
They have to figure out who
the joint.
They have to figure out who the president is. They have to figure out who the president of the colonies is, because they had like a structure like that. Secretary happens to be the last remaining in the line of succession, and she's aboard the school ship. And they're like, Madam President, and she's like, oh shit. Yeah, and the
Admiral
Adamus,
Edward
played
James
by
Olmos.
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah,
Man, look,
in his
he
best.
lost the battle against acne, but he never lost against the Cylons. God damn it, he took a tooth and nail, and that man somehow made himself look fit for those boxing scenes later on in season 3.
I got.
It sounds good. It sounds like a very interesting premise.
Before I forget, I wanted to ask you guys something, like an opinion question, completely different, but I'd like to hear each of your takes on it.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel? Let's just say if us four like pulled up to the mall or a movie theater, we got a time to catch, and we're pull up to the movie theater, and we're driving down this row. And it's just like, you know, if we just go 2 more cars, turn right, and then right, we'll be on the other row. But there's people looking for cars. How do you feel about one of us getting out of the vehicle and taking up the spot?
No. Not only that, like I don't want to retell the story, but like in fast forward is what he would say. Taylor's dad sent him to get a man who was a boy, kid, teenager out of the spot. The guy was standing, taking a spot. Taylor grabbed the guy, picked him up, got him out of the fucking way, and Taylor's dad rolled into the spot. And I'm not talking about 20 years ago. I'm talking about like 5 years ago.
This was like 5 years ago.
We've seen your defense. How's your offense?
Wait. No, I didn't know we had a parking lot champion. That's a phenomenal story.
Going into the movie theater, putting a mouth guard in.
Taylor gets down in a 3-point stance.
Wait, Taylor's not with us now.
O-line.
Would you go stand in the spot?
No. I removed that guy from the spot as a way to restore order to parking.
Oh, you didn't take the spot yourself?
We took it because he was attempting to reserve under false pretenses.
He didn't have a car.
So
he was just standing there.
But you removed him on false pretenses.
I removed him physically because he was
foot.
not in a car. He was on foot. He was standing in a spot, reserving it for someone. And then I moved him.
This is the best.
I restored order, and I would never use my powers to reserve seats. I'm not about that. Get there early. If you want to reserve seats, let's be respectful to everyone else. It's selfish to just have one person there reserving seats. Seinfeld figured this out 25 years ago. It's I don't care for it. Don't like it. What I do is I go in and I go, everyone.
When he brought up something that I felt about it was like, I was having this debate with my friends, and I was like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go stand in the spot. But if I were driving down the spot and someone used the buddy system to take the spot, I'd be like, huh, and I would keep going.
All right,
I wouldn't say shit. I wouldn't do shit. I sure as hell would go if my dad told me to pick that fucking kid up and move him. I would be like, yes, father. But other than that, like, I'm like, fair play. Like, this is the Wild West out here.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, right? Like I'll say this: if I saw that now, I would just move along because I am a felon. And I can't, and the law is probably going to side with whoever I get into the scuffle with in the parking lot, and it is just a parking spot. However, I can imagine a time when I was younger and maybe my boys were with me when we would not have put up with that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like I could totally see an ass.
Are you allowed to do that?
No. Like I'll say this: if I did it, I would know that I was doing wrong.
Let me
that's
clarify.
the seat right next to me. Like, what do you want to sit next to me, Woody? Like, there's a young lady, and you don't think you're like, you sitting down next to a young lady, and she's like, "This is actually my boyfriend's chair," and he's like, "Hey, where's he?" like you know that's wrong.
Technically,
like,
you
know
to
that's
sit
wrong.
Down.
Here's how I work it out when I want to do one of these moral quandaries. I think I put my loved one or myself in like the quasi victim situation. I'm like, oh, okay. So my mother's at the movie theater and she's watching a film with my sister, and
No, wait, go to the parking
A
spot.
grown ass
Back to the
40, a
parking spot.
50-year-old man comes in because he wants to watch Star Wars alone, pushing 50,
Pushing.
and
Pushing
he,
hard.
he flicks the seat thing down next to my mother, the armrest, and plops down next to her and starts eating and muting his phone. And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, my daughter's sitting here, and I don't hear so well out of the right side anymore, so I like to lean to the left, when we whisper." And you're like, "Lady, sounds like
Nobody's
it's
allowed
pretty
to say
important that the seat get filled by your daughter. Where is she?" I think she needs to relieve herself. Ho, ho, ho. Can't handle her water, eh?
Can't handle
Just
her
like
water.
a woman.
No, Woody's allowed
Like,
to sit
I
there,
mean-
and if she's like, "That's my daughter's seat," he's allowed to be like, "No, I'm sitting here."
They're not even
I
available.
think
for
we're
foot
muddying the
traffic.
water a little too much because we need to remember the initial thing was someone dropping someone else off at the theater to have them run in and be like, 4 seats, these are ours. That's unacceptable. If Woody, you're going into a theater and you're with Jackie and you go in first because she has to pee, that's not reserving a seat. You're there. It's like, this is where my
No.
wife and I are
Buddy
sitting.
system works. I think
can I help with this? I
I
got
would
it.
do
I
the
got
movie
it.
theater seat. I'm the person
Here's the
amongst
difference.
my friends that would sit in the theater, and I would drape my jacket across 6. No. What do you mean?
You
We're
only
6
need 4.
people. We're
You
6
take
people.
6.
It's your
Why
choice,
are-
pal. No, let me help you out. Let me do it your way. My 6 friends will sit here. We'll wait for the movie to start, and then one by one, we'll go in the middle of the fucking movie for you and go get snacks. Is that a better experience? Let's do it that way then. Guys, come. No, we have to sit. We have to wait for the movie to start, and then we'll disrupt it for everyone else.
So
But we're
what
all
you're saying
here.
Is
We're all
you
here,
and-
though.
So what you're saying is you and your friends would conspire against the other
Don't say
patrons.
me and my friends
sort
would
of-
conspire. You can't say
Well,
that
no, you'd get
about us.
together and you'd
Can't
have
say
this sort of plot, if you will, a plan. And you
used it for
start-
a second, but,
You'd
the
figure out a
G-thing.
way to manipulate the system where if they didn't do exactly what you wanted to do, then it would be so. Look, you're not
Is
breaking
he doing
any
one
laws,
also right now?
but it's going to be so inconvenient for you to do business in our world, the chosen one, for these 6 seats.
Who made the movie?
That's true. Jews should get first
I love
choice at
that.
every movie. I mean, you'd get in first in line
Wait,
everywhere. because-
I was thinking the parking lot thing because the parking lot is like now we're dealing with the law, but
Here's
the
what's
movie
different.
theater's more.
We're not. No.
Wild
It's
West.
not the law. So
Okay.
first of all, parking lots are private property. The laws of the road don't pertain to them. You fuck those stop signs. Roll right.
But what
through that
about
shit. That doesn't
but
apply.
what impeding traffic?
tell
is
me
not
what to
a
do?
thing here.
JC Penney? What the JC Penney can tell me yield or not yield? Fuck you. No. You're not the DMV. So if you rewind me 3 seconds. I'm real stoned.
We were saying we were in the theater reserving 6 seats across.
So
My-
in a theater, we're paying money, right? And a lot, right? It's like $20, $25, depending where you are. The parking space is a little bit more like a park bench in some ways. Like I wouldn't sit on a park bench and then give somebody guff if they wanted to sit down next to me and eat their lunch. Like it's a park bench. If I don't like doubling up with somebody, I need to get my ass up.
What if you're lying down on the park bench? We're back in the Wild West.
Then
rules
you're
now.
a
No one-
fucking bum.
Sure,
you lie-
but you're allowed to lie on the
No,
park
bums
bench?
bums get animal rules. You shoo them away and you
Hold on.
sprinkled them with
What if
water.
it's Woody? What if it's not a bum? It's Woody. He just hurt his leg and he needs to lie down and rest. And he's lying on
You
the
know
park
how
bench.
expensive Woody's shoes are? I'd spot them right away.
But
be
would
like-
you come up and
I'd
be
be-
like, "Hey, buddy, sit up.
I mean,
I'm
look,
gonna
it's
eat lunch
a
here."
fellow white. We have a thing. Like you think y'all have a thing? Like I see a fellow good white out there, and I'm like all about like I'll see them. I'll see their special ring while they're like pushing their car on the side of the road. I'll cut off 3 Mexicans and a black guy just to get over there and help him push that car. I had a real racist joke the other day. I don't know if it's racist or not. You tell me.
You? Nah.
But I thought it was funny nonetheless. So I had, and I told Taylor this, I think maybe off the show, or maybe I said it anyway, but
Hold on, wait. Let me prepare to not laugh in case this gets clear.
Okay. All right. Try
Okay,
hard.
go.
Clear your mind. Not funny. Holocaust. It was real. Okay. Never forget. We had a book in my house growing up called And God Cried. And on the back of it was a pile of the bodies. Like jokes aside, like
Yeah.
it's not funny stuff.
I mean, hundreds of thousands of.
It's who's to say? God damn it. Rewind me just a little bit. I've got this.
You got a racist joke a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, so I had to get the water line worked on in my yard, right? And they said it's the third crew in a row. This is a true story. It's third crew in a row.
Take care, Icarus. Yeah.
It's third. You've heard the joke. It's not that bad, right?
No,
All right, so it's third crew in a row, right? 2 white guys have tried to fix this before, just to be fair. Like I'm, across the board. The 2 white guys fucked up both times. They dug the hole, they worked on the line, they fixed it supposedly, and it leaked again. While I look out the window, who's out there working on it? Mexican and a black guy. And at first, I'm like, this might work out. This might work out. But no, it's exactly like you'd think it would be. They worked hard, then quit early. There's still a big fucking hole out there, deep as shit. They worked hard digging that hole, then they just fucking quit early, as they would. And now I've just got a big koi pond in my yard. It looks more like a meteor struck, and then it rained in it.
With no koi. So you don't even have a nice Japanese artistic chic to your home.
No, it's awful.
You just have a mud hole. Did I tell you guys my that's city utility workers. Me too.
Well, yeah, the plumbers. The
plumbers, those fucking plumbers with their with
all
their
of
affirmative actions, and they're like just trying to like dog whistle as plumbers. That'd be funny. Did I tell you I had a bad luck thing with my I had a bunch of trees in my yard removed because they were dying and like rotting, and these people destroyed my yard. It's as though I paid for a tree removal and lawn destruction service. Like so like yeah, and they're the best in the fucking biz, let me tell you. Because they basically in my backyard, I live in a wooded area, tons of trees.
We really focus mostly on the yard destruction.
we focus mostly on ruining your fucking yard. My backyard is way less nice than it was after they wrecked it. It's my no, it was grass. Yeah, I said was grass. Yeah, so basically it was 6 trees that I needed removed in my backyard because they were all either dying or rotted or just like looming over my house and making me anxious. And so I figured, just let's rip the Band-Aid off because trees are expensive. All 6 of them down. I'll either have to do
how much
it. Yes, you can, and I'll surprise you with it. All right,
you want me to guess now, or
yes, guess now.
6 trees.
Yep.
Like big trees. Like
the smallest of them were probably that big around.
Did he go? Did he have to go up and climb the trees with a chainsaw?
Oh yeah, on all 6 of them.
Dude, did that cost you $3,000?
Cost me $4,900.
That's rough.
And I guess it's more expensive sometimes. Like they charge you more depending on how much it's like how close it is to your house or whatever. It's a couple of them were like right.
It was $800 for me for one. So I was hoping you got the like bulk discount.
that was the bulk discount.
Holy shit, that's the math. $4,800.
Yeah, that was the big, because the guy like this is the one part that was decent is when I was calling around about it in my head I'm like fuck it, it's gonna be $10,000. And when I called him in December, the dude was like, yeah, nobody gets trees removed in December, so I'm just trying to keep my crews working, because so here you'll get a super cheap price. And I was like, all right, that works for me. And they come and they start removing the trees. He tells me it's going to be a 1-day process. I'm no genius, but I was even in the moment like, what are you bringing like 50 people to my house to like just like all at once? Like you're like, no, this is going to take longer than that. And so he comes on like a Thursday a few weeks ago. And they start doing their shit. And the next day, was obviously Friday, they come back to start again. And all they did the first time was really kind of get set up and like tie stuff around the trees, like to kind of like look at the leverage points and whatnot. Then nothing had started. And that Friday, I was leaving town to go to my grandparents. And so as I'm leaving, there's like getting a bunch of work done, like sawing the trees and everything. And I'm already noticing like my yard looks like shit. Like, they drove through it with the so my yard, you know how there's a straight line from the road through your side yard for every house in existence. You know how you could, if you want to walk from the front left portion to the backyard of a house, you would walk straight past the back left side of the house, just straight. If you wanted to walk past the right back side of a house, what they did is they set up their machine and drove across my yard. Their machine started on the left side of my house and then ambled up next to my goddamn mailbox.
And this is like a private company. It's not like from the city or anything like that.
This is supposedly a decent company.
Bro.
They drove across my entire yard in wet weather. And then I guess they didn't like that route. And in that route, they destroyed a swath 8 feet by the entire length of the entire yard.
That's
mud destroyed. And then I guess that approach wasn't working because while I was I know. And while I was out of town, I guess they didn't like that route on day 2 for Saturday, because the next day they took it right to the right side of my house and they drove a whole new path through my yard, and they didn't put boards down, and it was wet. And I got home Sunday and I laughed when I saw my house. I went,
as would I.
Because they've destroyed my yard.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Destroyed.
That's a crazy,
all the
crazy
time.
thing to do.
Let me ask you this.
Let me real quick. When I got back on Sunday, I'm getting back from my grandparents' house. I just wanted to relax and play Age of Empires 2 all day. I'm full of steak. I've got some other steak she sent me home with. I just want to play Age of Empires 2 and get stoned and eat more steak. And I try and log on to the internet. I have no internet. These guys dug so deep into my yard without the board, with the tracks on their machine, that they physically severed my internet line. It didn't unplug it. It didn't misalign it. They drove so deep through my yard, they severed my fucking internet line.
That's fucking crazy.
And
honestly,
these
I would fucking eat their children. Praise be to Allah.
This guy, praise be to Allah. These guys, they came back yesterday because the guy told, I knew something was amiss because on the Friday after I left, a lady from the company called me
torn
and
up.
was like,
something's amiss.
Hey, there's a bunch of stuff with your yard. We're going to take care of it. And I was like, at my grandparents. I'm like, okay, so it's even worse than it was when I left. They came back yesterday. The owner or manager of the company, he wasn't there yesterday. I wonder fucking why. I wonder why he didn't want to fucking talk to me. And he sends his like goons, the workers, and they throw down some straw haphazardly. And then they come to my front door and he's like wanting me to inspect it and like pay him $5,000. And I was like, I get it. Like, you guys are just doing your job, but this is I always keep it like calm. Like, I'm not someone to like freak out.
You can't.
I'm always very calm about that stuff. And I was like, honestly, like, this is unacceptable. I know all the 4 of you guys here. If you guys, if you at your home hired someone to remove a tree and they did this to your yard, I can't imagine what you guys would be thinking. And that's what I'm thinking right now. So if you need to tell your boss, you know, I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to give you guys a dime until my yard is returned to the way it was before, because this is absurd. I'm going to be getting fines from my HOA.
Oh, no.
Like, do you have any idea how horrid this is?
You're
what
like,
you guys
Elon Musk is trying to ruin my life.
Oh my
God. Elon Musk is trying to ruin my life.
He will fucking kill me.
And so my yard, I can send you a photo after the show. My yard is fucking destroyed, ruined. It took me so long to get grass growing well in my yard because the previous owners treated the yard like shit. And so I had to like reseed so many times, and I took the aerator out
now
there.
Now that I have a house, I understand this.
No, this is years ago when I had to originally get the yard going.
Oh, yeah. Now that I have a house, like, I understand. I had a water ban this past summer. So you couldn't water. And like, so I would stand out there and like literally be like, this is money. The grass is money. I know that now because I bought it. And this is money. And I need to use my sprinklers, but I can't. Yeah. And like, my neighbor across the street didn't give a fuck about the water ban. And I did sit there like looking through the blinds, and I was like, if I was a little bit angrier with my life, I would snitch on you. I understand why some neighbors do shit like that. I'm like looking out the window. I'm like, he's not allowed to be watering the lawn right now.
Dude, why don't you just water it down? Why don't, like, what would they do if you just had a tank of water? And if anyone asked, you'd be like, oh no, that's from that tank of water. Well, where do you get the water that goes in there? No, I truck that in.
It's rainwater.
That's rainwater.
You could do that. I understand. This is like an advanced lie. Like, I understand. I kind of like that strategy.
You don't use that water to water your lawn.
No, I understand.
You just have a tank of water. That's the whole way.
You're like, I have a tank of water. No, like I literally,
evaporational, like
no,
take
you're
care
right.
of.
But you know what you're right about is that you could pay, like, if you were like really didn't give a fuck about money, you could pay to have like a water company come and literally do it because they're allowed, because they're bringing water from elsewhere. Water is heavy, all that. But if I paid, instead of paying that, if I just paid a truck to come by every day and refill my water, and it was like just my buddy in a truck. Yeah.
That's what my company does. We have a water truck that's fucking empty. Right? We drive it around and charge you half of what the actual water truck costs. We don't do fuck all, and then you just hook your hose up to your spigot and let her have it, boy.
What did you just say?
You heard me.
Hook your hose up to the spigot.
Oh.
Y'all
Is spigot not a Canadian?
Yeah, we don't. I don't think you're allowed to say that word.
Spigot.
What? It sounds
Spigot.
weird when you say it. I don't like.
Does
that.
it?
I don't know if you're allowed to say it like that.
Spigot.
SPIGOT, right?
SBI, either GOT or double GOT.
I don't think you can even say.
I haven't read it since.
You can't say
Little House on the-
GGOT, by the way.
You can't say GGOT. You're being a real GGOT right now.
I don't think I've read that since like Little House on the Prairie, right?
Oh, it's 1G. Damn, shouldn't have double
It's 1G. He just did. No, he had it right from the beginning.
I did get that one until I thought Kyle was right with the 2Gs, but that was
I was asking.
But I was
like,
thinking of Spriggans.
I think of myself as a very good speller, and I actually wasn't sure about spigot, how to spell it. So
yeah, I haven't read it since.
Some people
if it makes you feel good, Woody, like I fucked up on spigot.
Yeah, but some people say spigot about spigot.
No,
you're right. It is a
spigot.
What do you call something that's spelled C-A-Y?
So a spigot is where you get the water.
Yeah.
A spigot is a half-price ticket that they sell to Mexicans at sporting events.
I knew it.
Yeah, Carly knew that too. It's a big thing in Canada as well.
No. I knew what he was doing.
Hispanics and they say, "Hey, if you're down with us kind of being shitty to you right now, you get half price." And they're like, "Okay."
Wait, how do you pronounce C-A-Y? How would you guys do that? Like an island.
Like Cayman Island? Like K? C-A-Y? I guess I'd say K. Yeah. Is that not right?
Well, I mean, it's acceptable, but I think it is key.
Keyman?
There was a book called Timothy of the Key when I was a kid, and the C looked a lot like a G. And we were always like, Timothy the Gay. And we thought it was the funniest book because it was like a black man on the cover and it was like Timothy the Gay. We're like, we got to read that when we learn how to read.
When we learn how to read words other than gay.
Yeah, exactly. You know how to read. No, just this word that says. Yeah. And what do you call the they say we accept that. But also like people call it the foyer. And I've been hearing lately that it's called the foyer. We pronounce it French for no reason. Same with valet.
How hard do you hit
I would never be able to tell someone valet is like the way to say it, but I think I could sell a foyer.
Now,
if I'm
I know if we were having breakfast together, you would offer me a croissant. But if you were in like some Frenchy part of
a Burger King, it'd be a croissant sandwich.
Do you hit the croissant? Do you hit them? Do you go full bore?
There's always been something bothersome to me about someone who switches accents real quick like that because of a word.
Yeah,
like talking. I heard how you were talking the whole time. Then you were like croissant. Yeah, and I'm like, no, bro, you were literally like a croissant vibe a second ago. don't let this word fucking dictate you. Don't simp for language.
It's actually a series of clicks and hums. It sounds like an old radio being thumped.
People were like Ibiza. I'm like, shut up, fuck.
No, I kind of like it. I like when like a politician does it, like to let you know, like yes, it was. They just had the straight like white girl accent, and then they start rolling their fucking R's anytime they're talking about anything south of the border. Yes. New Mexico. Also, we need to work on inflation this year because it's absurd. I've seen AOC do it.
There's a huge crime wave taking place in Argentina.
Guadalajara. It's like, does she have maracas?
Alan, is there any signs that this? Aye, Tom. Aye. I just don't know.
Thumb symbols.
That's I gave the retarded kid in our English or in our music class.
That's
He would have been truly retarded if that's what they gave him in the English class.
That's because the kid just had to sit still. He was perfect.
The original fidget. All right, you guys want to call it a show? Wait, what?
I want to.
I'll take a joke before we go. Is that what you were?
No, I was going to talk about playing handbells as a child. So I maybe it wasn't a good.
That sounds like a subject for the next guest.
Yeah, right.
It's Finnster, so they're gonna love it.
Yeah, get Finn.
Well, next episode we're gonna hit up the handbells, but Harley's gonna be fighting soon. Tell us when people need to look for your next combat exploit.
It'll be announced by people far more powerful than I. But yeah, Harley plays all that, and I actually just post my podcast on your subreddit these days. So
yeah,
I got the PKA subreddit. I'll post my thing.
So check it out. You can find Harley's podcast on the PKA subreddit.
I feel the same way. People are always like, "Did you give it thought?" And I was like, "Yeah." While on ketamine.
Harley's fighting a big muscular man.
Yeah, he could like backflip and front flip. He does like lots of athletic feats. I've seen very scary footage of him, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and get my.
Who has better hair?
Him, I think.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Well, good luck.
Woody, you're freaking me out. You're freaking me out right now. Okay, you're freaking me out. Thank you,
brothers. Is my mic on?